Good morning, J Rance. I love you. La 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 la. Woo, woo. Good morning, sunshines. Uh-oh, we're not watching the whatever that is, banking whatever. Anyway, good morning, happy Friday. You made it to Friday. I love you too. I love you. You be safe out there today, bestie. I love you so much. You're one of the bravest people I know. Did you know that? You're one of the bravest people I know, J Rance. I just want you to know that. You're like my hero. You're my hero. Neil with an I. Good morning, bonjour, mes amis. How are you doing today? How is it? How is it up there in Montreal? Montreal, in Quebec. In Quebec. I don't speak French. I speak with a French accent. Does that count? No, it doesn't. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Oh my God, it's Friday. Let's see. Good morning, Oof. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's Friday. Friday. Yeah, it's Friday. Hi, Jane. How are you? I was singing Maybe I'm Amazed this morning. I love that song. I think that's one of the most beautiful songs. I used to I'm going to admit something really stupid, okay? But that's what I do here. It's my show. I get to oh my God, started the day with a language beef, so things improve. It's hard to be an old newspaper man once in a while, isn't it? Isn't it a beautiful song? It's one of my favorites. But I used to think about it when I was younger. Maybe not this age, but when I was younger, oh, I've never, like, you're you're just once in a lifetime friend. I love you very much. You and I have been through a lot, and we don't, so just want you to know that. God, maybe I'm amazed at the way you love me all the time. Maybe I'm afraid of the way I love you. Maybe I'm amazed at the way you pulled me out of time. You hung me on a line. Maybe I'm amazed at the way I really need you. I just love that song. I know. Hi, Sharon Brown. How are you? Lee, good morning, sister. How are you, my love? Oh, how are you? I have so much to share with you this morning, and it's good stuff. We curated some good stuff. And you know where I curated it from? The Signal chats that I am. Easily distracted. You're here. Oh, I'm so glad. It's so nice to see you. It's so nice. I hope you're well. I hope the babes are well. Language as in French, English. Underwent a medical procedure the other day. Doctor issued a report in French only. Hospital. Oh my God. I don't understand that. Oh, your best friend's wedding song? Well, see, here's the thing. Jane, here's the thing. When I was younger, really wanted that to be my wedding song. I used to, when I was dreaming about marriage, which I don't dream about anymore. I don't want to get married. That was like the song I thought, oh, that's just so romantic. And oh, no. Oh, executive update with DC and the SCOTUS. Oh, shit. Oh, Lee. Good luck. Have fun. I know you'll be in and out. Oh, Carla. Hello, love. Carla, Lolo. Of the comedy duo Carla Lolo. It's Carla. It's so good to see everyone this morning. It's so good to see everyone. We made it through this week. Not really. I mean, it was a tough one. But I do have some good stuff, I think. Well, I don't think it's good. It's not good in that positive. It's good as in, you know, It's good as an informative. There you go. Carlolo. We are Carlolo. That's our comedy troupe. Great wedding, terrible marriage. You know, both my weddings were great, and my marriages weren't terrible. Actually, I loved both my ex-husbands very much. We just grew apart, literally both times. So, and I'm still I just texted my ex-husband the other day, making sure he didn't die in an avalanche, but he didn't. He did. He didn't. Forecast is 54 degrees and sunny today. I'll take it. That's a nice temperature. That's a nice temperature. My favorite temperatures are like in the west of Ireland. I spent a fair amount of time in the west of Ireland because my dad was living over there. And so I went and visited him for a couple months once. And I love the weather in West Ireland. Like, I'm a West Ireland girl. Like, you put me in West Ireland, I'm down. I love cold mornings. I love it. I think it's great. That's my weather. I don't know. It's practically patio. Well, it's certainly better than it was, wasn't it? Oh my gosh. Oh, maybe I'm amazed at the way you pulled me out of time. You hung me on a line. Maybe I'm amazed at the way I really need you. Ooh, 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 ooh. Hi, Dan. Hi, Josh. How are you? Good morning. You're in the house. I love it. I love it. I love it. I got all my friends with me. Yeah, my DJ forgot to bring my song. Oh my God. Did you guys sing it? Did you just break out into song? That's so nice. I love the version, Israel. I can't remember his last name, but his version of Over the Rainbow, so beautiful. Gosh. Oh, the Louis Armstrong, A Beautiful World. Yeah. No, I think he's both versions are of course wonderful, but that's a great choice for a song too. I like weddings because they're parties. I think we should just have parties to celebrate. You know, that's all. I mean, at this point, I don't see any of that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I think weddings are kind of fun, but I couldn't live with anyone. Is that terrible? Is that, I don't think I can live with anybody. Oh my God. Okay, well, let's see. Okay, so in 20 minutes, Mr. Comer, Jimmy Comer. Hi, Nessun Dorma. Max requests specifically no Nessun Dorma, no Hallelujah song ever. Okay. I like both those songs, but I don't sing them very often, so maybe a townhouse and they can be next door, but they better, yeah, totally. Like a town, yes. Like a duplex, perfect. Perfect. What's the difference between an Irish wedding and an Irish funeral? One person. I bless the rains down in Africa. That's what I want. I want J-Rance to sing Africa at my wedding, at my non-wedding. That's what I want. I changed my mind. I want an all Toto themed wedding, actually. I want the whole wedding to be Toto themed. Only Georgie Porgy. My family has wakes. They lived at. Yeah, that joke is a good joke. What's the difference between an Irish wedding and an Irish funeral? One person. And a dress code. That's a good one, Jane. I love that one. Oh, read my comment above about fake wedding cakes. Wait, Sharon, where are you? Did you know in Iowa they decorate fake wedding cakes and then bring out sheet cakes? Are you kidding me? Is that really what they do? They do a fake cake? I've never heard of that. Oh, the Carol Burnett ending song for my wedding. That's weird, Sharon Brown. That's weird. Like, why? I guess if you can't make a cake that looks really fancy, then it's better to just design it out of fake materials and then go. Definitely on Carol Burnett. I'm so glad we had this time together. Just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just get started and before you know it. Yeah, there's no bachelorette. Well, is there though? Maybe there's a bachelorette party after the funeral. Maybe not before, but after. Comes the time we have to say so long. Doodly-doo-doo. That's funny. Oh my God, you guys are cracking me. You are cracking me up. You're so funny. I just think you're so fun. I think they're so funny. How are people so funny? Let's see. They decorate it like it's real, and then they throw it in the trash. Okay. I mean, I guess, do they build like things that defy gravity or something? Are we talking about cakes that like float in air so they can't be made of cake? I don't know. I don't understand that. But come on, Iowa, get it together. Get it together. Let's see. We've got, oh boy, do we have stuff? Teresa's going to recognize some of this stuff. I stole it from her. Gal will eventually recognize this stuff. I also stole it from her. Let's see. Today, Bill Clinton is testifying. We're going to play the part where Hillary...
Well, I'll watch the State of the Union.
Stop it. We're going to play first the Hillary. I'm sure you saw Hillary's remarks, or maybe you didn't, after. Oh, wait, what's this? Okay, hold on. Okay. You probably heard
Let's
her
talk
already.
about the last week.
Oh, my God, sorry. Everything starts when I push on it. Okay, here we go.
Well, I have just been...
Okay, hold on, Hillary. Just hold it. Hold it. I really enjoyed this personally, so that's why I'm going to play it again. Because you know what the thing about her is? Let me tell you how I somehow connect with Hillary Clinton. I don't know. This is going to sound weird, and I don't mean it to sound weird, but I connect with Hillary Clinton because I remember, hi, Teresa Love. Hi, gal. Yay. I stole stuff from you, too. So you're going to recognize something. Not a lot, because I couldn't go back that far in Signal. But I swear to God, I just need to go to Signal and just pick up all the links so that you guys don't have to do it. She is so smart. And let me tell you about Hillary Clinton, okay? I think she's probably a little more hawkish than I would be, okay? She's a little more of a traditional politician, right? But I have in the 90s and 2000s when they were really going after her and leading up to his election, she was pummeled like constantly, and it was clear at that point that she wasn't choosing to be pummeled, but she was taking the pummeling, and because she was a really, really fucking smart woman. They tried to make it seem at the time that she was the one manipulating Bill Clinton. So they painted from the jump this picture of Hillary Clinton as some, spy, not spy, but, like dangerous operative kind of like manipulator, right? And they focused on her womanhood as being, one of the things they could attack. And I just remember... No matter how you felt about Bill Clinton or Hillary for that matter, she didn't deserve that. She didn't deserve it then. She sat through hours of testimony on Benghazi, on Whitewater, on emails. Ken Starr made their lives a living fucking hell and came up with nothing. Okay? For years, I remember that. And I'm just going to tell you, I think that she got a really fucking unfair shake. And I don't really care what you think about her politics. I don't really love all her politics. But I also, I went to CGI once. I went to the Clinton Global Initiative once in New York. Not that I met anybody, but I talked to a lot of the other grantees, right? And the Clinton Global Initiative work was fucking transformational. Okay? I saw it in action. I saw it in Haiti. So you cannot actually tell me that Clinton Global Initiative is a front for anything, because I've seen their work. And I've seen how they actually do fund people that traditionally might not get funding. So I take great exception, because I have more personal experience with the Clintons than the people who are complaining about her. That I don't think they're like the evil geniuses that people paint them out to be. Are they probably capitalists? Oh, fuck yeah. Are they probably the stupid, kids and black kids are criminals? That was something they shouldn't have done. Like, that is something you can completely disagree with. But I can also separate that and still acknowledge it very rightly. But then also acknowledge that the way that she has been treated over these decades is absolutely unacceptable. And yes, she pushed for health care. She pushed so hard in the first administration for him, for health care. And they ended up getting child health care, the CHIP program, child health insurance program. That was them. So also, I saw them really put their political capital on the line for the health care bill that ended up being watered down to the CHIP program. So, I mean, and I can complain about CGI work too. There's no I have no problem complaining about monoliths within the nonprofit world. You've heard me speak about monoliths within the nonprofit world. So I have no problem speaking down all the shit that corporate philanthropy does. I am actually the first in line to yell about corporate philanthropy. So, but I just think as a woman and as someone who has been in a male-dominated industry in the 80s and 90s, I know firsthand what it's like to be discounted immediately because you are a woman. I know what it's like to be suppressed and said, you shouldn't be this way. You shouldn't be flip. You shouldn't be whatever you are. You need to change what you are. I remember those days very, very painfully. And so I think that she has been done a great disservice, I think, in that way. Yeah, she's been pretty fucking resilient. And I just found this particular response to her situation incredibly resilient. So I thought I'd play it for us. It's only a few minutes. Anyway, so let's enjoy Hillary Clinton as she tells people to go fuck themselves. Anyway, here she is.
Well, I have just finished testifying. I answered every one of their questions as fully as I could, based on what I knew. And what I knew is what I said in my statement this morning. I never met Jeffrey Epstein, never had any connection or communication with him. I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance. But whatever they asked me, I did my very best to respond. It was disappointing that they refused to hold a public hearing, so I wouldn't have to be out here characterizing it for you. You could have seen it for yourself. We had asked for that. We think it would have been better for the committee and its efforts to gather whatever information they are seeking. We had a bit of a challenge in the beginning because we had agreed upon rules based on the fact it was going to be a closed hearing at their demand, and one of the members violated that rule, which was very upsetting because it suggested that they might violate other
I think it was Lauren
agreements.
Boebert who took the
So
picture. Was it Lauren Boebert who took the picture of her? Yeah, totally. Meowing Star, I dislike her politics, okay? That's what I dislike, some of them. I don't dislike all of them because, I don't know, I just have been alive the whole time. But yeah, no, she literally, this woman has been through it. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah, she is a consummate pro, and she knows how to handle it. But I'm telling you right now, it takes an emotional toll on you. I don't care if you're a pro. I don't care, like, and she's actually, I don't know. I mean, I would like to know, like, all the policies that people think are so hawkish when she was, yeah, okay. I'm not going to get into it because, frankly, I don't want to debate her record. She's not going to run for anything anymore. But I do have this memory. I have a very locked in memory of what she was put through. And it was not fair. It wasn't fair from the jump. And it's just been an onslaught since that time, since 95, at least, that we've been fucking bashing her. So, but someone else could have walked behind her seat and taken the photo. What do you mean? Oh, Boebert? Yeah, she is terrible. Yeah, it was taken from Boebert's seat. That's right. She knows who it was. She hasn't really, yeah, she actually looks really great. I know. But yeah, I don't, the thing at the end of the day, she definitely wasn't the worst Secretary of State we've ever had. Okay. And politically, she might be very problematic. She also did some wonderful things politically. So there's that. And she doesn't deserve to be treated like this. And it's because she's a woman. And if you don't think that, then you don't know what it's like to be a woman in a corporate male environment in the 80s and the 90s. So if you don't, then of course you won't feel that way. But if you do understand what that might feel like and how kind of fucked up it is, then maybe you'll get it.
Had to cease the hearing for a period of time until we could get assurances that no rules would be broken going forward, and we returned to answer questions repetitively, literally over and over again. I don't know how many times I had to say I did not know Jeffrey Epstein. I never went to his island. I never went to his homes. I never went to his offices. So it's on the record numerous times. It then got, at the end, quite unusual because I started being asked about UFOs and a series of questions about Pizzagate, one of the most vile, bogus conspiracy theories that was propagated on the internet, that was serving as the basis of a member's questions to me. So I can only say that the best exchange that I had came at the very end, when, contrary to every other deposition they have taken, no Republican member asked any questions about Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell to anyone else they have deposed. And in fact, the Republican members didn't even show up for the deposition of Les Wexner. And when I said that, I had to point out that the only questions that any Republican member asked of any of the people they deposed was of former Attorney General Bill Barr, when Chairman Comer asked him about the allegations, in his view, about Russia's involvement in my election in 2016. So at the very end of this hearing, after I made that point, I want to commend Chairman Comer for raising a series of significant questions that I responded to about the nature of the investigation and the areas that I thought should be explored. So I appreciated that. I want to see the truth come out. So that was a reassuring way to end a very long, repetitive deposition.
You spoke in your opening remarks about how heartbroken you have been for the Epstein survivors as these files have come out. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you have processed and reacted to the fact that the former president, your husband, Bill Clinton, is referencing the Epstein files numerous times, including in some photos featuring women? And how have you been personally preparing for the deposition that is coming tomorrow? Are you 100% confident that there isn't anything that the former president knows about Epstein's crimes?
I am, and I think the chronology of the connection that he had with Epstein ended several years before anything about Epstein's criminal activities came to light, and that he was charged and sadly given a sweetheart deal, which, as I said in my statement, had that not happened, perhaps his predatory behavior could have been stopped earlier. But I think it is fair to say that the vast majority of people who had contact with him before his criminal pleas in 2008 were like most people. They did not know what he was doing. And I think that that is exactly what my husband will testify to tomorrow.
Madam Secretary, do you believe that this was a fair? Do you believe this was a fair hearing? And do you still want to testify publicly, even though you gave this deposition?
Well, I'm not going to do it again. You know, they had a chance to do it in public, and I wish they had done it in public. And I think they're making the wrong decision, avoiding doing it in public. I thought it was very repetitive. I thought that they asked literally the same questions over and over again, which didn't seem to me to be very productive. And then, as I said, toward the end, you know, there were other questions that were totally off subject. So if they are going to fulfill their responsibilities to literally investigate the investigations, which is what they originally said was the scope of their work, I think they could have spent the day more productively.
Madam Secretary, what was your reaction? Madam Secretary.
Can I ask, why was Colleen Maxwell invited to the daughter Chelsea Clinton's wedding in 2010? She'd already been mentioned in a civil lawsuit by Virginia Giuffre before that. Jeffrey Epstein had already been convicted.
She came as the plus one, the guest of someone who was invited.
Madam Secretary, can you tell us your reaction, please, to the photos of your husband in the hot tub and the swimming pool?
What message does it say that President Trump was
I don't know when the video will be out. I don't know when the transcript will be out. We've asked that they be out as quickly as possible, and then you can see.
Madam Secretary, what was your reaction to your husband's photos in the hot tub? We heard.
I mean, that's just amazing to me. It really is. Hold on, let me make this silent. It's absolutely mind-boggling. I think she did a great job, and I am actually looking forward to if they release the transcript. They released the Lex Wexner. You know, this is the interesting thing about the Lex Wexner interview. I didn't realize no congressman. I didn't know Congress. Oh, really? Bill Barr was questioned late last year on Epstein. Oh, Teresa knows. You know, here's the thing about Epstein stuff. And it's pretty clear that people knew. I think I was looking at that, actually. I Googled, like, what was the first public reporting about Epstein's sex crimes? And I think it came up with something about 2009 when the settlement of the charges were done with Dershowitz had kind of gotten the sweetheart deal. So it's not clear to me that there was much public knowledge before, like, probably 2006. But then also, I also am, you know, I could see it where, and I don't expect Hillary Clinton is lying about this. I don't know how you would lie about this and expect to get away with it in this day and age. But she's saying that she never actually interacted, that it was her husband who was interacting. Now, granted, you know, I think that what is really hard about this situation is that because the knowledge of Epstein as a sex criminal, as a rapist, etc., or a trafficker, because that came out public, I think it's hard because everybody had some awareness, and basically no one did anything substantive about it, right? So in many ways, everyone is guilty. Does that make sense? In many ways, everyone is guilty of not addressing this situation. And I guess your degrees of complicitness are what we're going to talk about, right? Like, I could see Hillary on the outer rings of complicitness because I don't know if she knew where Bill was going. I don't know, you know, if she bothered to check the plus ones of her daughter's wedding. I don't know. Uh-oh, who's doing what? Who's talking? It must be good, whatever it is. Hold on, let me see what's playing. Well, it's playing. Oh, Rep Comer. I'm not sure. Okay. So speaking of Clinton, this is where Bill Clinton is right now in Chappaqua. And so Jimmy Comer's going to come out and talk, I think. Yes, Rep Comer speaks ahead of Bill Clinton deposition. That's whose mic is on. It's Jimmy Comer. Yeah, Barr should have been the first. Yeah, and why didn't we ever see that? Why didn't we ever see that? We saw the Les Wexner tape. Why didn't we see the Bill Barr tape? Will we see the Hillary Clinton tape? I don't know. Probably. So it's really tough because essentially everybody is guilty, right? Because nobody stepped in to actually do much to actually change the trajectory. Hi, Grace Lisa. Well, is it though, or what was it called first? Squealing Jimmy Comer. That's right. And someone said he's not very smart. I can't remember who that was. I think it might have been Clinton. Uh-oh. Who's going in? Lawyers. We got lawyers with tote bags. We got lawyers with tote bags. Okay. Yeah, you remember that? Okay. So, yeah, I in essence, a lot of people, that part we almost have to compartment. This is going to sound weird, so I don't mean it to sound weird. But it feels to me like it's important right at this moment to compartmentalize the fact that everybody knew about it and really dig down into the who was complicit, right? And I worry because we're basically getting into this kind of like, you know, it doesn't matter what really happened. Oh, here comes Jamie. Hold on, everybody. Hold on, Jimmy. Hold on. Don't start talking yet.
Good morning. This is a historical day for the United States Congress. We have listened to people all across America who have kept up with the whole Epstein investigation and are outraged by the obvious fact that men and women, for that matter, of great power and great wealth from all across the world have been able to get away with a lot of heinous crimes, and they haven't been held accountable, and they haven't even had to answer questions about what they knew and when they knew it. Today, we hope to be able to do as we did yesterday and continue to bring some of the most powerful people in the world in to answer questions. Again, no one's accusing anyone of any wrongdoing, but I think the American people have a lot of questions, and our House Oversight Committee is committed to getting answers. We're committed to transparency. We've already seen a lot of very powerful people who have been held accountable by having to resign in disgrace from various boards all over the world. We're going to continue to seek the truth, try to figure out how the government failed the victims, and try to hopefully hold more people accountable. That's what the purpose of this investigation is. I will say this, it's very difficult to get people in for these depositions of great power and great wealth, and I used yesterday and today as an example. It took 7 months to get the Clintons in here. But we've got them in here, and we look.
I've got to stop him because it took 7 months because the Clintons said they wanted to do this publicly. That's why it took 7 months. Because there was negotiation about what the scope of the questioning would be. And there was also a very big push and pull up until the last minute about the Clintons doing this publicly. They wanted to do it publicly. So no matter how this fat fuck tries to spin it, the Clintons, I mean, God bless them. I'm going to tell you right now, I did not expect Bill Clinton to be like, open it all up. Go ahead. Go ahead. Because Bill Clinton, given his history, I have no doubt that he was, inappropriate. Yeah, where's Trump? We have questions for him. But, this is the thing. Like, if there are, here's the other piece that I really don't want to lose sight of, okay? And then I'll go back to him. I'm very sorry. I'm going to read that. I'm going to read the HRC, her opening statement. Where are the people actually named in the files? Right. Here's the thing. The two guys in the UK, Mandelson and who's the other one? Andrew. They're both being brought in initially on charges of espionage, of giving state secrets to Jeffrey Epstein, probably on the behalf of one of two governments, in my mind, Russia or Israel. I don't know which one, maybe both. But that, I think, is the key, is that it's the espionage piece. The espionage piece is going, insider trading is probably closer. Yeah, okay. But it's still state secrets. Like those are trade secrets or whatever was being passed on. And I wonder if there is more around the documents case, right, that is being currently squashed by the Trump administration and the DOJ, that we're not going to see those materials. They're squashing the report. She's not destroying it, but she's squashing it. We're still contending with that for Volume 2 of Jack Smith's report about the documents case in Mar-a-Lago. And I just wonder, I don't want to lose sight of that. I don't want to lose sight. Hi, Esmeralda. Morning, all. Shouldn't they ask if in retrospect he felt blackmailed, maybe partly by Epstein and the decisions he made? That's actually a great question. That's a great question. Yeah, her dig at Elon without mentioning his name. So we have a lot this morning, so I'm going to keep moving, but I just wanted to point that out, that I think it's the state information being traded that is going to bring this down. It's not necessarily the sex crimes, which should be bringing it down, should have brought it down fucking years ago. But here we are. So I hope this is our moment of reckoning.
To asking lots of questions that I think any curious media outlet in America would have. Yesterday, Ms. Clinton deferred a lot of questions to her husband today. There were at least a dozen times when she said, "You'll have to ask my husband that. I can't answer that." So
because she wasn't there.
We already have a big portfolio of questions.
Because she wasn't there. This attempt to paint Hillary as some kind of hiding something, criminal. If she's done crimes, great. Let's see the evidence of the crimes that have been committed. I'm in. I'm ready. Convict. But there's not even any mention of crimes in relation to the Clintons. And furthermore, Bill Clinton, for whatever reason, is like, I don't release it all. I don't care. He's not worried, or at least he's acting like he's not worried. Good morning. So I'm sorry, but it would make sense to me if it were my husband who actually interacted with the person we're talking about, for me to say, well, you're going to have to ask my husband that because I don't know. That's a perfectly reasonable answer. That is not evasive. That is answering the fucking question. So it doesn't matter. Like you could have asked her a more than a dozen stupid questions, Jimmy Comer. I've seen you do it. I've seen you ask a bunch of stupid questions.
questions for him, and that increased yesterday. So we look forward to that. We'll be happy to answer a couple of questions.
Mr. Chairman, good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Explain to us specifically what you need to hear from President Clinton today. What do you want to know?
Well, I think everyone's seen there are a lot of photos that have been released by the Department of Justice as well as the Epstein estate. There are a lot of email correspondence that included President Clinton. We know President Clinton had, and Secretary Clinton confirmed this yesterday, Jeffrey Epstein was in the White House 17 times while Bill Clinton was president. We know that Bill Clinton flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane at least 27 times. So those are questions that we're going to ask. Everything that most media outlets have reported with respect to pictures and correspondence between Epstein, Maxwell, and Bill Clinton. These are all questions that we're going to ask today.
Mr. Chairman. Yesterday you both told me that you were planning on asking about an email that Howard Lutnick sent to Jeffrey Epstein, I presume about a Hillary Clinton fundraiser. I think that was the one. If he's worth asking about, is he not worth asking in to talk about what he might know?
Yeah, and I think it'll be interesting when we hopefully get that video out later today or tomorrow as quick as we can get it out. I think it'll be interesting what Hillary Clinton said about Howard Lutnick.
And how she said it.
And how she said it. We looked, I think that was Miss Mace, with the line of questioning. So there was a pretty thorough line of questioning yesterday between Miss Mace and Miss Clinton with respect to Lutnick. And I think you all find it very interesting what she had to say. But we're going to continue to ask questions.
Let me go ahead and interrupt him. Yes, Bill Clinton is being questioned today. That's why Jimmy Comer is making sure that all the press are right there. Jimmy Comer needs this moment on camera. He's trying to prove something to the big boss. He's like, I'm doing the work. I got the Clintons in, and I made the Clintons swerve a little bit. But interesting that they're talking about Howard Nuttlicker, okay, because Howard Nuttlicker is getting a lot of attention right now, and I could not be happier personally. I think little Howie needs a lot of our attention, frankly. I think the more the better. So it's interesting. Why would they? I can't wait to see the part where she talks about Howard Nuttlick. Here's the thing about Howard Nuttlicker, and I don't know if he was the one. I'd have to check the files, but in the Epstein files, there is a contribution or something to the Hillary campaign in 2016 from either Epstein, but so there is a fundraiser or something like that. Epstein fundraised for a lot of people. He fundraised for Republicans. He gave Howard Howard, I guess, was a Democrat at the time, interestingly enough. So I think that's where Howard Nuttlick and the Clintons are probably overlapping, because in New York philanthropy, you probably had a Howard Nuttlicker all over the place. Let me tell you, if you're going to get the pedophiles out of New York philanthropy, you're going to need a bigger boat. Okay, so I'm just saying. Because spies don't care about the party of the person. Exactly. They don't. That's not the point. Power is the point. It doesn't matter who has the power. The power is the point. So yeah, it seems to me, I mean, that's the pattern that I'm seeing emerge. And bankers. Oh my God. Yeah. He had the bankers. He had heads of state. He had a lot of tendrils out there. So sorry, we'll continue.
Of everyone that's
Howard Nuttlicker is one to watch.
And things like that.
I think Howard Nuttlicker is going to resign. I think Nuttlicker is next to go. He's on my pool. He's up at the top of the list. I'll bet. I don't know. Maybe he has more power to stay, but I don't think he's as powerful as a WITKOFF. You know what I'm saying? Like WITKOFF has it good. He put himself in there, but he also put his son in there. So Zach WITKOFF has been up the ass of the Trump boys, and they're all part of World Liberty Financial. Yeah. I went down that hole. Yeah, and bankers like spies don't care. Oh, absolutely, right. They're agnostic. They don't care. They don't care. Yeah, we should have a bingo card.
I will be asking you, yes.
You will.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Obviously, we heard from Secretary Clinton after her deposition. She described the session as repetitive. She said it veered off topic. She asked about things like UFOs, Pizzagate. Can you explain
explain why those topics were brought up, and also in light of the release of that photo?
And she also said there were substantive questions yesterday too, but one reason there were repetitive questions about Epstein is because we went through every email and every correspondence that implied Hillary Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein communicated often. You all have seen the email where he said that she looks better in person and all of that. Those were questions we asked. So every item of evidence that would suggest Hillary Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein had a close relationship, we went and asked about that. So it may have seemed repetitive because there was a lot of documentation that would suggest that she had a relationship with Epstein.
And
so,
to be clear, Secretary Clinton actually asked
the microphone,
about the NDAA.
please.
Sorry. To be clear, Secretary Clinton actually asked us about what happened with the disclosure language in the NDAA. So, I mean, I know she's trying to pivot from the fact that she's here and she had a very close relationship regarding the Clinton Foundation and Epstein and Maxwell. But the point is, and I think I'd like to hit on this with probably Miss Mace here, but I think we have a very important interest and curiosity about what specifically the co-conspirators had a role in all this, right?
Actually, bitch, you don't. Because who you didn't show up to was one of the main co-conspirators, which is Les Wexner. Okay? So, sorry, Luna, you fucking Russian op, or whatever country you work for. I don't know. It could be anybody. Turkey, Israel. I don't know who you work for, Looney. But I'm telling you right now, you're an op, and you're stupid, and you don't belong there, and it's embarrassing that you're actually there. And I will tell you right now that you are not committed to the truth on this because none of you showed up for Les Wexner's deposition. You sent your staff. I'm not saying that. There was majority questions asked, for sure. But there were no congressional representatives in that room with Les Wexner. Lee says, just reading that Howard Nutlicker is making an unannounced visit to India to shore up the trade deal. Okay, sure, Jan. Yeah, well, don't fly over Pakistani or Afghanistan space there, Nutlicker, because somebody might shoot your plane down. I mean, I'm just saying. Right now, Afghanistan and Pakistan are going at it. I don't. She actually might be an Explore Talent alum. She is definitely, and Jay Rance is listening. She can't type, but I believe she's a Roger Stone product. She's a product of the Roger Stone, but I could be wrong about that. And Gal or Jay Rance would, and Teresa might know. Teresa, you know more than I do about that network. But I think she's a Roger Stone acolyte.
We know for a fact
she's
that
fake.
some of these were
Whatever
women,
she is, she's fake.
And I think that today, at least with my line of questioning, I'm curious about that. Why is it that these women were given plea deals as adults for trafficking minors? How much of that did they witness, etc.? And so, I don't know that Secretary Clinton was all that.
Wait, what? Is she saying that she wants to revisit the plea deals that were given to the women who were ending up recruiting girls? You mean the very same women who were trafficked and mind fucked? And that's exactly what fucking traffickers do, is mind fuck their victims to then gather other victims because the fucking perpetrator can't go on the street and just drag girls in? Oh my God. There we go. Gal, Roger Stone recruited her from a strip club. That's where Looney Luna came from. And I love strippers, okay? She should have probably stayed one, and I'd have more respect for her. Because I do have good friends that are strippers, and I think it's a beautiful art, and I think that they work really fucking hard under really terrible conditions most of the time. So, no, nothing regarding strippers. But that is where this woman has come from, which I don't think puts her in a position to question this particular. She doesn't have the intellectual capacity just on the face of it. Doesn't matter what her background is. This woman does not have the intellectual capacity to understand this. And she is clearly now going after the women. Going after the women, which is a key right-wing talking point, is that the women were quote-unquote whores and prostitutes And they were the perpetrators getting more girls to come in. Literally, that is the right-wing messaging right now. Chuds are saying it. I hear it all the time. So it's very interesting that this fucking disinformation cunt is standing up there saying, oh, yeah, we should really look at the women. What? Go fuck yourself. You want to investigate it? Investigate the fact that that Dump is credibly alleged to have punched a child who was giving him oral sex, forced. So why don't you investigate that, you stupid cunt? I don't think the women need to be investigated. I think we need to investigate the perpetrators, maybe at least first. But I'm telling you right now, we already know that the women who ended up recruiting for Epstein were completely mind-fucked and victimized and manipulated to do whatever they had to survive. So I don't want to hear fuck all about the NDA or the plea deals or whatever. You go after Les Wexner. Show up in Ohio, you stupid cunt. How dare you? Why isn't anyone talking about that? Here we go. Yeah, gal. Same reason Matt Gaetz didn't get prosecuted. The girls were willing participants. Yeah, that's not a thing. They were fed drugs, alcohol, and threatened by older men in power. That is the fucking classic. I mean, this could, I really hope this tumbles down. I do. I really hope this is the moment where it's like, oh no. And I think that, thank God for the UK and France and Norway and other people. Thank fucking God for the UK actually arresting people. Now do Jess Staley, because Jess Staley has a lot to account for as well. I don't know why we haven't arrested him yet, but okay. Mandelson, okay. Andy, okay. Yeah, didn't Gates, well, didn't he he took them out of the country. It was an international sex trafficking there, Josh.
Honest about the context of this investigation. We asked extensively about intelligence ties, whether or not she felt that she was targeted as a result of possibly an intelligence gathering operation, and she was very curiously interested in that. And then also, you'll hear it in the response, but had told us to follow up with a few countries, one of which is our ally. So that's interesting.
A question for the chairman.
Lolo brought up a good point about the Clinton Foundation. There's so many examples in the evidence the Department of Justice released in correspondence where Epstein bragged about how involved he was initially in setting up the Clinton Global Initiative and the Clinton Foundation. We asked those questions to Secretary Clinton yesterday, and she kept saying, well, she was in the Senate at that time. She wasn't focused on it. You'll have to ask my husband. So a lot of the Clinton Global Initiative questions yesterday went unanswered because Ms. Clinton deferred to her husband. So we'll do one more question.
It's our understanding that you guys asked Secretary Clinton yesterday about photos of her husband in the Epstein files. What was her reaction when you showed various photos, for example, of her husband in the jacuzzi that we've seen?
I'm going to let Ms. Mays answer that. We're on TV.
Okay, I'm not going to say anything. No, she didn't want to answer any questions about any of that and deferred most of those, if not all of those questions to her husband, and he will be thoroughly asked about that today. What did he know? What did he see? Because there are other people who've come forward publicly, like Kevin Spacey, who thought all of this was very strange and actually a very high risk for a president of the United States or former president. It's all very bizarre, but I asked her very pointed questions, and you'll see that in the transcript in the video that comes out, and you'll see how she responded as well, screaming.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your evidence is that Kevin Spacey thought it was strange? Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? And so you're mad that Hillary Clinton didn't answer questions about the picture of her husband in a hot tub. That's literally what just happened. They're saying there's some kind of they're there because Hillary didn't answer questions about her husband in a hot tub. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Why in the world would she be answering questions about that? So this is just so fucking stupid. And Kevin Spacey is your fucking witness? That's the one you're going to trust? A fucking sex abuser? Are you kidding me? This is a joke. They're not interested in finding the truth. They don't need to they want to hold a big Democrat to account so that it distracts from the fact that 54 pages that detail sexual abuse allegations and rape and violence against minors, that's the part you want to protect from. And that, to me, is the ultimate disgusting thing, that you would protect someone like that.
And we'll close with this. We're going to get the video out as quickly as we can get it uploaded and the sound and everything from yesterday. So this is, for all practical purposes, a public deposition. The American people are going to see it. I've heard C-SPAN's going to air it wire to wire. So everyone's going to see what was asked yesterday. And I think that'll answer a lot of questions, especially with Lutnick and other things like that. Throughout the day, we'll try to send different members out to give you brief updates. We don't want to disclose what's going on in the deposition specifically until at the conclusion, but we'll keep you updated, and we appreciate everyone being here and look forward to updating you throughout the day.
Ms. Mace, what do you mean that Hillary Clinton was screaming?
She was unhinged, and I hope that President Clinton is less unhinged today than his wife was yesterday. You'll see it. How do you think
She just called Hillary Clinton unhinged. That woman is not serious. That's not a serious politician. Yeah, but there's a video. Yeah. Yep, Grace Lisa. Wow, what a cunt. Women that fuck women are just so fucking really piss me off. But also Trump, Flynn, Nutlick, Gabbard, Kennedy, et cetera, down the list used to be Democrats, almost like they flipped to it so they could blame Epstein on Dems. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, that's why. So they can characterize it like that. Put the sound bites off. Now I'm gonna hear that from Chuds later on today. I doubt that Mrs. Clinton was unhinged too. If anybody is unhinged in that conversation, it's Nancy Mace, because she lives her life unhinged. Hey, we're all there, okay? But I didn't run for Congress, okay? I have trauma too, but I didn't run for Congress. So there you go. Yeah, women can be misogynistic cunts. And that's like the weakest. Yeah, I have nothing but contempt for women who fuck over other women. Yep. Yeah. All right, so that's that. Yeah, look at Luna really wants to say something else. But I'm not even going to give her the pleasure of that. All right, but speaking of Epstein and nut liquor, speaking of which, here we go. Photo of Lutnick, nut liquor on Epstein's Island removed from Justice Department files, now restored. They're similar to women who, yeah, it's the Ava Browns. That's what it is. It's the Ava Browns of this world. I don't get it. You can't make it make sense to me. All right, a photo released last month by the Justice Department as part of the Epstein files that showed Commerce Secretary Howard Nutlicker with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein on Epstein's Island in the Caribbean was removed from the Justice Department's website before being restored Thursday night. The photo, which has been authenticated by CBS News, shows Epstein, Lutnick, and 3 other men standing over an oceanside cliff. The Internet Archive's Wayback Machine, a nonprofit that preserves digital online content, downloaded the photo from the DOJ's website on January 31st. It was also archived by Gmail, a web interface that was created to archive Epstein content. The photo was released under file this on the DOJ's website. At some point, it was removed, and the link pointed to a page not found. However, within hours of publishing the story, it was restored Thursday night. That's yesterday. CBS News has reached out to the Commerce Department and the DOJ for comment. This is the picture. Let me see if I can get it. But where's his wife? I thought his wife and kids... Oh, shit. Is it? Okay, wait. It is going to let me do it. Okay. So here's the picture. There's Howard Nutlicker. There's dude 1, dude 2, dude 3. There's Epstein. So that's the picture. I don't know where his wife is. Emails that were in the millions of newly released Epstein files showed that in 2012, Lutnick, his wife, and their 4 children planned a visit to Little St. James, the private island where Epstein had an estate. Lutnick was invited for lunch on December 24, 2012, and later Epstein's assistant wrote on behalf of Epstein, "It was nice seeing you." Lutnick, testifying before a congressional committee earlier this month, acknowledged visiting there with his family. "We had lunch on the island, that's true, for an hour," Lutnick told lawmakers. "Then we left with all of my children, with my nannies and my wife, all together. We were on a family vacation. We were not apart, except for that picture." To suggest there was anything untoward about that in 2000, I don't know why I'm talking like a Kennedy. "I don't recall why we did it, but we did." Lutnick has not been accused of any wrongdoing in relation to Epstein, and in the hearing said he had nothing to hide. Absolutely nothing. Do you believe him? In recent weeks, though, Lutnick has faced criticism for his ties to Epstein, who was his neighbor in New York City. Lutnick had previously claimed to have cut off contact with Epstein in 2005. However, documents in the Epstein files showed the two were in business together as recently as 2014 over their shared dealings in a now shuttered advertising company called AdFin. The Epstein files showed that the two communicated about AdFin as late as 2018, with Epstein writing to Lutnick, "On another note, what do you think the prospects for AdFin are?" Also in 2018, Lutnick emailed Epstein to apparently complain about an expansion plan for the Frick Collection Art Museum near their homes. Lutnick warned Epstein that renovation might block your sunlight and views. "You should put in a letter. I'm sending a lawyer. Don't ignore this," Lutnick wrote. Epstein died in 2009 in jail after his arrest on federal charges of sex trafficking. His death was ruled a suicide, but everybody's talking about it like it's a murder. And also, I mean, I saw a bunch of emails when I was looking through and looking for Nutlicker. I saw a bunch of emails that were about like charitable events that Epstein was donating to on behalf of Howard. There was an event honoring Howard Lutnick that Epstein donated to. So yeah, I'm just not buying it. Nutlick Wexner bought his kids. Elon Musk brought his kids per his daughter. There's pics of dump and kid with Epstein in New York. Yeah, I don't think that it doesn't matter if Trump never went to the island. He went to the houses. It doesn't have to be the island where things happen for it to be, illegal. So there's that. Let me see what I've got here for us, because I have a lot of things, but I want to stay somewhat close to topic. Oh boy, did I go down a rabbit hole last night, everybody. Oh yeah, I got to talk about that actually. Let's see what this is. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I gotta bring you down this rabbit hole with me. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. Yeah. Okay, I don't understand this article, but I want to read it because the more I read it, the more I might understand it. Nutlick went there with his kids, and wasn't there an email about Nutlicker's nanny to Epstein about a resume or something? I'd have to find it before I just start quoting it, but yeah. Maria Farmer. Nutlick and it's a purity cover story. Yeah, to sound innocuous. Yeah, no, it's totally. Nutlicker has stuff to say. Let's put it that way. Okay, we definitely know he has shit to say. All right, this is from the folks at CoinDesk, because this is a couple days ago, I guess now. No, it's yesterday. Never mind. So this, just stay with me, okay? Don't, maybe grab a cup of coffee or a tea or, you know, whatever, and just hang there with me through this story, okay? All right, thank you. World Liberty Financial ties voting power to staking as USD1 supply tops 4.7 billion. And this is going to make sense. Well, it's not really going to make sense. Maybe it will make sense to you. It doesn't really make sense to me. This is one of the things I really want to learn about. You're so entertaining. Oh, I'm so glad, because sometimes I feel like this story could lose a few people. All right. The proposal redirects stablecoin arbitrage from institutional market makers to large token holders and links voting rights to capital commitment. Basically moving, I don't know what the arbitrage is. Is that the trading of it? Oh, yeah. So that is probably like, that's what it is, because this is a trading platform. And it means what is your power in the USD1 investments and other things is going to be related not to the regular institutional market makers, right? Where they kind of work the price, you know, like on the NASDAQ, there's a market maker, there's a few market makers, and they make the market in a particular stock, and they're the ones who monitor the shares in and out. Okay, does that make sense? So what these guys want to do is cut those people out of it, and they want to bring it in-house so that the role that would have been played by a market maker, buying an asset in one market and trading it as a higher price, right? So the market makers are the ones who do that transactionally. They're the ones who move that shit transactionally. So what I am imagining from this is that they're taking the power out of those and putting it with the people who own the most of the coin. It's based on who owns most of the coin. So stay with me, because this is important, and it gets better. It gets real juicy at the end. Okay? I promise ya. All right. World Liberty Financial has proposed requiring the holders of their stablecoin to stake their tokens for at least 180 days before gaining the right to vote on protocol governance. So stake must mean you have to hold like a vesting period where you have to hold it for 6 months before you have the right to vote on the governance of the coin. But then it would be your role. The plan would introduce node status to 10 million stable coin staked, and super node status at 50 million of WLFI, offering perks such as subsidized one-to-one stablecoin conversions. Wait a minute, aren't stablecoin conversions always one-to-one? Wait a minute. This doesn't make sense to me. Okay, I'm going to just hang with it. And direct access to the team for partnership talks. I don't really know what that means. Stakers would earn about 2% annually in WLFI, funded by the project's treasury, which I did look into, and that's what I'm going to get to, and tied to voting participation, as USD1 circulating supply has grown to roughly 4.7 billion. Now, I'm going to remind you that World Liberty Financial, you know, this token, this stable coin, is the Trumps and WITKOFF. So keep that also in mind. World Liberty Financial is moving to lock up governance power. Right, consolidate it in-house, cut out the middleman, requiring token holders to stake their WLFI for 6 months before they can vote on the protocol's future. A new proposal would require holders of unlocked WLFI tokens, so after that period, to stake for, would require holders of unlocked. A new proposal says the people that already hold WLFI would have to agree to this stake for at least 180 days to vote, while creating node and super node tiers that grant large stakers access to subsidized one-to-one conversions into its USD1 stablecoin and direct partnership discussions with the team. One of the things that might be possible is that a subsidized one-to-one means you're not paying any kind of transaction fee. So that could be around what the benefit is, because a stable coin is pegged to the dollar. So it should maintain. The whole thing about stable is it should be stable. It shouldn't fluctuate in value. So I'm imagining that that's around transaction fees. But what I really take away from this is that the power of this stable coin, USD1, which is, you know, something we need to know about, is is being consolidated inside the Trump family. That's it. That's what you need to know. Under the framework, holders who stake at least $10 million in coin, roughly $1 million at current prices. Oh, so it does fluctuate. That's not a one-to-one. Would qualify as nodes, gaining access to over-the-counter stablecoin conversion channels facilitated by licensed market makers. World Liberty Financial said it would subsidize those market makers to maintain parity, effectively passing arbitrage opportunities that previously generated 10 to 15 basis points per cycle to qualifying stakers. Oh, interesting. Participants who stake $50 million in this coin, about $5 million, would qualify as super nodes, receiving guaranteed access to the team for partnership discussions. I don't know what that means. Maybe to launch different coins. I'm not sure. And potential eligibility for additional economic incentives. Ooh, I wonder what those are. Subject to commercial agreements. Stakers would earn an estimated 2% annual reward in WLFI funded by the project's treasury. That's the part that got me kind of like, woo, who's the treasury? And contingent on participating in governance votes. The proposal comes as USD1 circulating supply has grown to about 5 billion, making it one of the largest stable coins on the market. So that is where I started, and I went, oh, wow, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But then I went and did a little more digging, and I found this Financial Times, which is very interesting, and it is from about 4 days ago. I hadn't heard about this. But here we go. This is the hacks at the Financial Times. No, I have the Lancet. Don't worry, Max. The Lancet is coming up. Hold that thought. I've got the Lancet article. We're gonna read it. You guys are too smart. You're too on top of it. Okay, so the World Liberty stablecoin attacked. Trump-backed crypto group says. Company says hackers accessed some of its founders' social media accounts in bid to knock the price of the token. Trump crypto venture, World Liberty Financial, insisted its flagship stablecoin was completely safe, in quotes, after an attack on some of its founders' social media profiles briefly snapped the token's peg to the dollar. Good security there, Trumps. WLF said late Monday that hackers had gained unauthorized access to some of its co-founders' X accounts in what it described as a coordinated attack. The group said the incident was focused solely on social media profiles, sure, rather than its underlying infrastructure or wallets that store digital tokens. Well, guess what, kids? That's next. The stablecoin, known as USD1, had earlier on Monday breached the $1 mark and it is designed to consistently trade at, falling as low as 99.4 cents, according to data from information provider CoinGecko. WLF said social media influencers were paid to spread FUD, or fear, uncertainty, and doubt, in an attempt to knock down the value of USD1 and profit from manufactured chaos. It did not provide evidence to back the claim. Oh boy. Oh boy. All USD funds can remain... Wait. Whoops, that's not it. Hold on.
Okay. Hold on, everybody. Relax. Relax. Okay, just relax. Okay, chill. Chill. Chill is necessary. Okay? All right, just hold on. All USD1 funds remain completely safe, secure, and fully backed. Don't worry about it. Trust us. Our infrastructure and team operated exactly as designed. Yeah. Except for the fact that they actually did get into our social media and they actually did make the price of our stable coin fall below $1, which it's never supposed to do. But other than that, that was just nothing, okay? And they're not going to get into anything else. Don't worry about it. Just buy more. Because if you lost a half a percentage point on your $10 million, I know that's a lot of money, and you might be really worried about it, but you don't have to worry about it. I don't see what you're worried about it for, okay? All right? So just calm down.
The attack comes just days after the group hosted a lavish day-long gathering at Donald Dump's Mar-a-Flarto resort in West Palm Beach, you know, where Jeffrey Epstein raped a bunch of girls. convening finance and crypto titans along with celebrities. That's doing a lot of heavy lifting there, I'm thinking. Its founding team, let's talk about whose social media might have been pooped. Let's see, none other than the president's sons, Tweedledum and Tweedledummer, Donald Dump Jr., Coke Jr., and Eric, the dumb one, as well as Alex and Zach Witkoff, the sons of Steve Witkoff. Oh, here's 4 people you don't need on the planet. The billionaire real estate mogul now serving as the U.S. special envoy to the Middle East and, frankly, everywhere else, with no talent and no heart. Oh, but here we go. This is the graph from Thursday the 19th on the stablecoin to, let's see, it looks like Monday the 23rd. Well, there was a little bit of a dippity-doo-dah. So it's stable, 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 stable. Oop, not stable. Stable, stable. USD has grown to become the 5th biggest stablecoin in circulation with market capitalization of about $5 billion. Stablecoins operated by WLF's main competitors Tether and Circle are valued at $185 billion and $73 billion respectively. WLF generates income by earning interest from the treasuries that it holds to back USD1. A $5 billion stablecoin backed by government notes yielding 3% translates into an annual profit of $150 million. Zach Witkoff touted the group's scale and real-time proof of reserves at Mar-a-Lago last week.
Here he is now. Every time USD1 is minted, everybody pay attention. Pay attention, everybody. Every time the USD1 is minted, that capital directly flows into U.S. treasuries. That's right, bitch. We are already contributing billions in demand for U.S. government debt. What? Wait, so if that... Wait, what? Okay, I'm going to have to follow the money on that one because I don't really understand what the end game is, but I think it involves, like, having the dollar devalue. But we'll find out. Hold on.
I mean, this would be the perfect setup for the dollar to just be blue, because they would get their money back if they oh boy. I have to look into that more. Okay. USD1's monthly reserve reports are compiled and checked for accuracy by crypto group BitGo, which also issues and redeems the stablecoin. The reports are then examined by accountancy group Crow LLP in accordance with attestation standards established by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. That's what they're betting. I think so, but I'd have to really work the model just so that my brain understands it. Because that's one of those things, like I never got the whole fixed income market, right? Bond yields inverse to the price of the bond. You know, like I always had a really hard time with those inverse relationships or things like that. And the same with the economy. Like monetary policy, I'm lost. I don't really understand monetary policy. It's one of those things. I know I need charts. I need to understand how monetary policy fits into this. But I think this is important. And I think the fact that they were fucking hacked 3 days ago or 4 days ago and we don't know anything about it, that's kind of disturbing. Data from crypto analysis company Arkham shows almost 4.5 billion of USD1 is held on the Binance exchange, which was co-founded by crypto billionaire Changpeng Zhao, an attendee at WLF's conference last week. Zhao, who is widely known as CZ, had in 2023 pled guilty to a criminal charge of failing to protect against money laundering at Binance, but was pardoned by the U.S. president in October. And now he's on the team. Zach Witkoff announced last year that Abu Dhabi investment vehicle MGX had used USD1 to close its $2 billion investment in Binance. Wow, this is just a big party. The wider crypto industry has been gripped by a painful sell-off in recent weeks. Bitcoin on Monday fell roughly 4% to 64,600. Whoops. Down almost 50% since its peak in early October. What does Mama tell you about investing? What does Mama tell you? Don't fall for it. This game is not for individuals. Put your money in mutual. I'm not telling you what to do, but This is a game that is being played at a much higher level than we are party to. That's what I'm trying to say. So buyer beware, like majorly, because I don't know about y'all, but I didn't hear fuck all about this. I had to find this because I was just Googling, literally, here's what I was Googling. World Liberty Financial. That's how I found that. Okay? And this is the same group. World Liberty Financial is the same group that we learned yesterday that they have applied for a banking license. Well, let me tell you, it gets weirder, okay? I went down this rabbit hole. I'm not kidding. So then I was like, oh yeah, they asked for a banking application. What's up with that? U.S. regulator may share World Liberty Bank application with lawmakers. This happened yesterday because remember, this douche whistle, the comptroller, the dick, he's such a little dick. This little penis tip, what's his name? Jonathan Gould, like they typed yesterday. The head of the National U.S. Bank Regulator, that's him, said on Thursday he would consider a request to allow senior members of Congress to review the bank charter application of World Liberty Financial, a crypto venture backed by the family of Donald Trump. Can we stop for a minute? And this gets weirder. Trust me, it actually gets weirder than this. So don't go anywhere, okay? It's important, and I'll lose my train of thought. So this bank regulator sat there yesterday and denied that he would share, which is not abnormal, to share banking applications with the committee, the banking committee of the Senate, okay? Our representatives who are supposed to be acting in our interests was being denied by our government to see an application by the only application they can't see is the one of the president's family. Hello? I mean, I'm not really a political journalist or anything, but this sure fucking smells. So I guess things changed, and he said he would consider a request, but only to allow senior members of Congress. Okay, so it's not the banking committee of the Senate. I could use a good, Jazika. Yeah, Jazika needs to be on this. I mean, she probably already has something on World Liberty Financial. I should just look for that. This is crazy. This is crazy, y'all. Please share the broadcast. We have 16 viewers right now, and I just feel like this show may be disjointed, but we talk about things that I don't think are being talked about a lot. Maybe they are. So forgive me. But we do try to dig a little deeper on like the sources and stuff like that, or read stories that are kind of seminal to a situation. Oh my God, I'm sorry. And I'm still banned until March 3rd on Blue Sky. I really need your help. I need your help in getting this information out. I put links in the description. So all of these links are in the description, and that could be easily shared. I don't care if people watch the video or what, but I just would love to have like as many people realize that this stuff is out there. So yeah, no, I was banned. Well, it's a funny story, Grace Lisa. I was banned on Blue Sky. Apparently, if you make a bad comment, they don't give you 1 strike for that. They give you 4. They give you 4 strikes. So apparently, I've had 2 posts. The most recent one is, perhaps describing a scenario if Les Wexner were to go to prison, that might happen. That's all I was doing, was almost like, the spitballing. I call it spitballing, political spitballing. But anyway, I was shit posting about Les Wexner, and I got fucking hammered for 7 days, as if I'm like the worst person on the planet. Yeah, I made a bad comment. I said something about maybe if Les Wexner ever went to prison, which, hello, he's not even up for any charges, okay? But if he did, it might be interesting. I mean, it's possible. No, actually, it was just a possible scenario. A possible scenario would be that people get shanked in prison. That's all I was saying. That's all I was saying. I was just kind of describing, like, scenarios. But no, let's protect the image of the child rapist or sex trafficker, because remember, not only did Les Wexner associate with Jeffrey Epstein, but he also handpicked the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, Jeffrey Matthews, who, currently is up for charges on running an international sex trafficking ring. Hello? So guess what? I think Les Wexner has a fuck ton to say. He should be saying it to investigators. He should be indicted. Oh, that's right. He was an unindicted co-conspirator because he was given immunity by Alex Acosta. What? I think that's who gave it. I don't know who gave him immunity, so I could be wrong about that. But so it might have been the Southern District of New York case. Forgive me. I might be getting those two cases mixed up. But nonetheless, he walked away. He walked away. Les Wexner has walked away. And not only was he buddies with Epstein and had Epstein, moving his money around, he also handpicked the CEO for his company, Abercrombie and Fitch, because it was part of L Brands. He handpicked the CEO who now, today, is about to start trial on international sex trafficking ring charges. Yeah. Did we hear about that? I haven't heard about it. I had to look for it. Anyway, sorry. Back to World Liberty Financial. Jonathan Gould, the comptroller of the currency named by Dump last year, told Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren during a Senate Banking Committee hearing he would entertain her request to confidentially review the crypto company's application to become a national trust bank, which allows them to access to the Federal Reserve payment system. And I need to understand all the implications of that, but it really is an additional level of access and power that I'm not confident that it deserves. Let's put it that way. Because you're going to find out why in just a minute. Because there's more. I'm telling you, there's more. Okay. Warren, who along with other Democrats raised concern that the application presents a potential conflict of interest, said she wanted Gould to share an unredacted copy of the application with her and Senate Banking Committee Chairman Tim Scott, a Republican. Bye. Did you see the T-shirt I left for you? Okay, great.
I wore this
No problem. I love this. I love you, sweetheart. I'll see you tonight. Let's see. Conflict of interest. Warren and several other Democrats on the committee also pressed Gould to reject or delay reviewing the application. World Liberty Financial is run by Trump's and other associates. Democrats also cited reporting from the Wall Street Journal that the UAE National Security Advisor is a large investor. True. I think about 49%. If I'm not mistaken. A spokesman for World Liberty Financial said the company has complied. Of course they did. Democrats are playing politics. Yep, of course they are, right? It couldn't possibly be you. The White House has previously denied that Trump family crypto presents a conflict of interest. And if he says it, then what? Why are we even asking? Gould says the licensing process is run by superb agency staff. Oh, did they cry when they come to you? Did they cry? Are there tears in their eyes? Yes, I am going to also read about Pakistan and Afghanistan. I'm coming to that. Let me get through this, and then we'll go to all those other things. I know. I just want to get through this. A trust bank charter allows companies to manage and hold assets on behalf of customers and settle payments faster, but firms cannot take deposits or make loans. Several other crypto firms have received preliminary approval for such charters. But then I was like, I'm like Googling who is behind Alt 5 Sigma Corp, which is the treasury company for the World Liberty Financial coin. Okay. So the people who kind of manage the coin funds is a company called Alt 5 Sigma Corp. Okay. Las Vegas based blockchain fintech company now tied to World Liberty Financial. Okay. Zach Witkoff is the chair of the board of Alt 5 Sigma. Eric Dump is a director, and they have they own about 38% of Alt 5 Sigma, which is, again, what they call the treasury of this coin, okay? Now, here's what's also interesting. Then I started to go, oh, tell me about Alt 5. I really want to understand Alt 5. Then Alt 5 just started coming up with all kinds of crazy shit, where they've gone through at least, I think, 4 CEOs since the fall of last year. They've gone through 3 or 4 CEOs since the fall of last year. Okay? Trump crypto partner suspends CEO with no explanation after stock falls 74%. Alt 5 Sigma, which bet its future on a Trump family crypto venture and has since seen its stock price plummet 74%, suspended its CEO last week. Let me tell you, this is October 24th, 2025. Okay? Hold on. Strap in. And has seen its stock price plummet 74%, suspended its CEO last week with pay, but without a public explanation, according to a new filing with the SEC. There's the boys. Okay, Alt 5 Sigma board suspended CEO Peter Tassiopoulos on October 16th, disclosing the move in an SEC filing that provided no explanation. In fact, you can look at the SEC filing, and this is fucking it. It is the Form 8K, and all it says is, where is it? Oh, here. This is the meat of it, right here. This thing here. On October 16th, Peter Tassiopoulos was suspended by the board of directors of Alt 5 Sigma Corporation and removed of his duties as chief executive officer. His suspension is effective immediately, and with pay, Jonathan Hugh has assumed Mr. Tassiopoulos' duties as acting CEO. Mr. Hugh will remain in his current position while carrying out such additional responsibilities. That's all they told the SEC about removing their CEO, okay? Okay. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, that's something else. And then I was like, oh, tell me more. Connected to the okay, so this is from, what day is this from? This is from 3 months ago. Okay, so we're in February 14th. This is in November of 2025. Alt 5 Sigma, which is traded on NASDAQ, connected to the Dump family crypto project, this is Reddit, has removed acting CEO Jonathan Hugh and cut ties with COO Ron Pitters. The company didn't provide a reason, but said it wasn't related to misconduct. Notably, this is the second leadership change since Alt 5 Sigma struck a major deal in August with the World Liberty Financial, a crypto venture co-founded by Trump family members. The agreement allows Alt 5 Sigma to buy up to $1.5 billion in WLFI digital tokens, putting the fintech company in the spotlight. The deal drew attention because it could deliver more than $500 million to the Trump family, which is estimated to 75% of all WLFI tokens. Okay, so then that was kind of like, oh, tell me more about Alt 5. And then I went to, this is November. This is the story about Jonathan Hugh being out. And then I thought, let's see, what is the other one? There was another one. Second, okay, wait. And then I went to this, and I found, oops, again, back on CoinDesk. Oh my God. This was from November 7th. Here we go. The Trump family linked Alt 5 Sigma oust top execs after CEO suspension shakes up leadership. The company is on its third CEO in 6 weeks, with Tony Isaac appointed as acting CEO and has named Stephen Plum as its new CEO. But then I think I found, which I don't know why it's not here, but I think I found that Tony Isaac is out. So this company has gone through as many, August is when WLFI continues with WLFI joins with Alt 5 Sigma, who now has the management team of the WLFI on its board, has ousted CEO after CEO, probably because they wouldn't be complicit with whatever fuckery the boys wanted to do. I'm just going to guess. That's usually when CEOs leave without any confirmation, is because they've gotten some golden parachute to get the fuck out of Dodge, but they can't say anything. I'm confident that there are lots of NDAs surrounding these transactions. But I just wanted to talk about that because I don't think it's being talked about that the boys got hacked. Again, I don't watch regular news, so it could have been on regular news, but I was kind of surprised to hear this. And I feel like the fact that the sons of the President of the United States are that easily manipulated and hacked, it should be a bigger story. That's all. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's go to, that was my, thank you for coming down my rabbit hole. Thank you for coming down my rabbit hole. Actually, here's the thing. The U.S. birth rate is plunging, and the political class, the biggest change is among youngest women who are the least ready to have children. That is a good thing. I don't think young people need to run out and have a bunch of babies. God, enjoy your life. I'm just saying. Okay, let me see. I've got, and let me go to what Max is talking about, which is Pakistan and Afghanistan. Hold on, let me see where I had something on this. Here we go. All right, all right, all right, all right. Do 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 do. This is from DW from last night. So I'm going to let this play. This
fragile ceasefire between Afghanistan and Pakistan is under threat following fresh clashes along the border between the two countries. Afghanistan's ruling Taliban says that their forces attacked military targets in Pakistan's northern province. They say that they killed and captured dozens of soldiers in retaliation for earlier Pakistani airstrikes. Pakistan released video of its forces striking Afghanistan, saying that it was responding to unprovoked fire and denying any of its soldiers had been killed or captured. And now let's speak with DW reporter Binesh Javed, who has been following this story for us. So what more do we know about the Afghan strikes in Pakistan?
Sarah, Afghan Taliban say that they have launched attacks in northwestern Pakistan border region. They say that these are retaliatory attacks in response to Pakistani airstrikes last Sunday, in which Afghan Taliban claimed that civilians were killed. Afghan Taliban are claiming that they have captured Pakistani outposts and also killed and captured several Pakistani soldiers. Now, it's Pakistani side is completely denying this and saying that none of the outposts have been captured, nor Pakistani soldiers have been killed or captured.
And what are Pakistani security officials saying?
So Pakistan, if we can see on the screen, Pakistani military has issued a video in which Pakistani military is claiming that there was an unprovoked fire from Afghanistan and that Pakistan responded. According to the Pakistan's Information Ministry, Pakistan responded and took immediate and effective action against the Afghan fire. Pakistan claims to have inflicted huge losses at the Afghan side.
Okay. You mentioned the Afghan Taliban, that they're saying that this were retaliatory strikes because of earlier Pakistani strikes in Afghanistan. Is that correct?
So last Sunday, Pakistan carried out strikes in two provinces in Afghanistan. Pakistan claimed that it carried out strikes against the militant hideouts and terrorist camps, and that Pakistan claims that it killed 70 militants. Afghan Taliban denied this allegation and said that civilians were killed. This has been, Sarah, going on for a long time. Last October, there was a huge conflict between the two countries. Pakistan carried out strikes inside Afghanistan, in the capital, Kabul, and other provinces. Afghan Taliban retaliated with their own cross-border attacks. this has been going on. Then there were talks mediated by Qatar and Turkey. There was a ceasefire agreement, but the relations are still very, very tense. There have also been efforts by Saudi Arabia to intervene and to resolve this very complex and difficult relationship now that Pakistan has with the Afghan Taliban.
You know, if we put this in the bigger picture here, and just maybe you can fill us in on how exactly we got here, because Pakistan has long been accused of supporting the Afghan Taliban, especially during the U.S. invasion of Afghanistan. Why have relations now turned so sour?
Pakistan says that since Afghan Taliban took control of Afghanistan in 2021, militant attacks in Pakistan have spiked. Last year, Sara, 2025 was one of the deadliest for Pakistan. More than 600 Pakistani security forces were killed. More than 500 civilians were killed in hundreds of militant attacks. Pakistan says that these militant attacks are being planned in Afghanistan, mostly by Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, its affiliates, and some attacks by Islamic State Khorasan. Pakistan blamed the Afghan Taliban government of harboring and supporting the Tehreek-e-Taliban militant group and its associates. That's an accusation that the Afghan Taliban deny. But that has become a really big source of friction between the two countries, because these attacks continue to happen in Pakistan. Pakistan has occasionally then carried out strikes as a retaliation, and then Afghan Taliban deny that they had anything to do with these attacks. So this has there's a stalemate, we can say, right now between the two countries.
Are there any attempts to negotiate, perhaps, bring about some sort of understanding diplomatically?
So the past efforts have so far failed. Some voices in Pakistan and also some in Afghanistan say that this is not long-term sustainable for both countries, because at the end of the day, people in Afghanistan and Pakistan are suffering. Borders are shut, so both sides, since October, borders are shut. So both sides are incurring huge economic losses. Pakistan is losing in its security forces in militant attacks. Many times civilians are killed, and therefore some solution has to be initiated, or some negotiations have to be initiated for this conflict to eventually end.
Venus Javed, thank you so much for filling us in. We appreciate it.
I compete with Stephanie Miller and Texas Paul in my time slot. Hey, I was here first. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if I was here first. I probably wasn't. I don't know what to say to that. Maybe that's what is happening. Yeah. Maybe I should do this later in the day. I don't know. I feel like the morning is more effective. But I don't know what Frankenstein is. I thought Dump ended. Well, he ended the India-Pakistan. Come on, get it right. Okay, Jay Rance. He ended India-Pakistan, not everything. Speaking of which, okay, let me pick up the New York Times piece on it. Hold on just a moment. To my darlings. Yeah, I don't know what to do about this show. I don't know why I never get more than... I get about 30 people sometimes, but right now I'm at 19. So it makes me a little sad, but I love the group that's here, so I don't really care. At the end of the day, we still have a very rich conversation, and maybe it's even better because we don't have a lot of people doing that. Yeah, we're going to read about this. Pakistan strikes Afghanistan in open war against Taliban government, and the U.S. State Department has told Americans to leave Israel. So that's happening. Yeah, I feel sick too, Grace Lisa. You had a lot of views the other day, over 250. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's interesting. That's really cool. Oh, it's a song. Edgar Winter. Is it Frankenstein? Duh. Oh no, that's Godzilla. That's a different song. Sorry, I got that wrong. Let's see. I like that. This feels like a secret group. I think so too, Sharon. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like that. Oh, Tom, you're so sweet. Tom's like my producer. He's like helping. I mean, we pick up on different things. I'm sure it's not journalism, right? Like I'm not doing any journalism here, so you probably can learn these things other places. I'm doing this more because I need to learn. So who was just saying Texas Paul something questionable? Yeah, I don't know if Texas Paul, I don't feel like is any competition whatsoever. I don't enjoy his show. I think it's fine, but I think it's kind of pedantic and it's a little milquetoast. So there you go. So yeah, I don't really give a shit. But yes, I understand. I probably come up against his. I tried to kind of come right up against Hal Sparks, but I think I kind of overshot him by a little bit. One has 773 and one, wow, that's kind of a lot for me. Usually it's about like 100 views or something for live shows because they're long. I wouldn't watch a whole live show unless, well, maybe I would, which is why I try to make every minute is entertaining. Even when I'm lost. No, I'm kidding. It's spicy. All right, here we go. This is from the New York Times from right now. Pakistan strikes Afghanistan. The airstrikes came hours after Afghan troops had attacked the Pakistani border positions and follow months of worsening relations, as we just heard, between the neighboring countries. What is this? Oops.
Don't settle for boring. Design memorable t-shirts online in just a few clicks at uberprints.com.
Hey, speaking of which, we have a new shirt at the lounge that I think you need to know about. I'll show it to you after. Whoa. Oh my God. Okay. Blech. Pakistan and Afghanistan engaged in their fiercest clashes in years on Friday, according to officials from both nations, escalating months of tension and border skirmishes into an open conflict. Afghan troops stormed dozens of Pakistani border positions, and Pakistan responded with a wave of airstrikes targeting major cities and military hubs. Beyond Kabul, home to 6 million people, the strikes hit the southern city of Kandahar, where the Taliban supreme leader Sheikh Hibatullah Akhundzada, I'm so sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that, and 4 border provinces, according to Lieutenant General Ahmad Sharif Chaudhry, the Pakistani military spokesperson. Is super secret. I'm so glad you discovered us too. I'm so glad everybody's here. You don't know. It just makes me so happy. That just makes me happy. I just love you guys. I think you're the best. You're some of the smartest people I know. In fact, you probably are the smartest people I know. That's what's been done so far, General Sharif said at a news briefing on Friday. This is continuing. Pakistan launched strikes on more than 20 locations, General Sharif said, hours after Afghan troops had attacked more than 50 Pakistani border positions. Afghan officials described that assault as retaliation for Pakistani strikes earlier in the week. Our operation last night was a retaliatory operation in response to Pakistan's operation, not an attack to start a war against Pakistan. Are you kidding? Zabullah Mujahid, the Taliban spokesman, said at a news conference in Kandahar on Friday. And where Pakistan struck in Afghanistan's largest cities, Afghan troops had attacked Pakistani border positions hours earlier, and then they did strikes in Kandahar and Kabul. But Pakistani officials showed no willingness to stop the most expansive fighting in years. Our cup of patience has overflowed, Pakistan's defense minister Khawaja Asif said on social media. Now it is open war between us and you. The fighting comes as both countries have been bracing for a fallout on trade. Oh boy, and the movement of people from potential U.S. military strikes in neighboring Iran, adding yet another layer of uncertainty in an area already on edge. Remember no new wars? I don't know. At least one ammunition depot was bombed in Kabul, according to an Afghan military officer who reached the site shortly afterward and spoke on condition of anonymity because he was not authorized to discuss. Satellite images reviewed by the New York Times confirmed the strike. Pakistan's state broadcaster said an ammunition depot in Kandahar had also been bombed. So this is the depot in Kabul, before and after. The extent of any casualties or damage from the airstrikes was unclear, while each side claimed to have killed dozens of combatants in the border clashes. Kabul, dotted with checkpoints and officers in uniform, even in calmer times, saw a heavier presence of soldiers and security personnel on the streets on Friday. In most areas, however, residents went on with their errands and gathered at mosques for midday prayers. The clashes showcased what armies from both countries are well known for: air power from Pakistan's side and ground incursions from Afghanistan's. The Taliban deployed and mastered ground incursions on an isolated military outpost during their 20-year insurgency against the U.S.-led coalition, said Ibrahim Bahis, an Afghanistan analyst at the International Crisis Group. The Pakistanis have replied by using overwhelming force, and that escalates the latter from Kabul's perspective, which looks at how to respond better, Mr. Bahis said. The two sides keep doing what they think are measured responses, Mr. Bahis added, but they are upping the ante. Relations between the neighboring countries have deteriorated recently over Pakistan's accusations that the Afghan government is harboring Pakistani Taliban known as Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. The militant group has killed hundreds of Pakistani security personnel in recent years, and in November claimed responsibility for a suicide bombing that killed a dozen people at a courthouse in Islamabad, Pakistan's capital. Pakistan says the Taliban allow the Pakistani Taliban to train and operate freely in Afghanistan, from where they launch attacks across the 1,600-mile mountainous border. The Taliban deny hosting the group and accuse Pakistan's government of trying to deflect blame for its own domestic security failures. But privately, Afghan officials acknowledge the presence of the Pakistani Taliban in Afghanistan, at least. The presence of the Pakistani Taliban and the resurgence of other groups in Afghanistan, including Al-Qaeda, has alarmed countries across the region and beyond. I thought we got rid of all of them. Oh, he still says that. He still says that. The government in Afghanistan has faced pressure from China and Russia to rein in militant groups operating in the country. China has had sustained diplomatic ties with the Taliban administration in Afghanistan, and Russia was the first country last year to recognize the group as the country's legitimate authority. The Afghan government has provided the Pakistani Taliban with weapons, including rifles and drones, according to the UN Security Council. The United Nations also noted in a report published this month that Al-Qaeda continued to enjoy the patronage of the de facto authorities, referring to Afghanistan's Taliban-led administration. Pakistan and Afghanistan released diverging claims on Friday about the number of deaths from the day's fighting at the border region. The Pakistani military spokesman, Lieutenant General Ahmed Sharif Chaudhry, said at least 274 people had been killed there, though he made no distinction among civilians: Pakistani Taliban fighters and Afghan security forces. Zabihullah Mujahid, the Taliban government spokesman, said 55 Pakistani soldiers had been killed. Since October, Pakistan has kept critical border crossings closed to civilians and traders, reopening them only intermittently to expel Afghans living in Pakistan. The suspension of trade and the expulsion of more than 1 million Afghans last year alone have hurt the economies of both countries. In some villages on the Pakistani side, officials have in recent months instructed families to evacuate as a preventive measure. They have advised residents who choose to remain to seek shelter in basements when tensions flare up. The border clashes have now become routine, and it has become almost impossible to live here amid firing and mortar shelling, said Zarwali, a farmer and father of 4 from a village in Pakistan's northwestern Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, near the Torkham border crossing. When firing begins from both sides, we rush our children into basements and wait for hours, uncertain of what will happen next, Mr. Wali added. Long-standing cross-border ethnic and family ties have frayed in recent months, and in some Pakistani border districts, local officials have urged villagers to support security forces, residents said. Some villagers have taken up positions alongside security forces in the trenches and are participating in the exchanges of fire, said Murtaza Shah, a school teacher in the border district. Let me just raise this up a little bit. There we go. This is a critical time, he added. We must stand with our forces just as communities across the border are backing Taliban fighters. The clashes on Friday came during the holy month of Ramadan, which United Nations officials had hoped would be a time to broker peace between the two countries. Despite a ceasefire signed in October, although undermined by frequent border clashes, mediation efforts by Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey have all failed. Pakistan's growing hostility towards the Taliban in recent months is a sharp turn from decades of tacit support. for the group. The Afghan Taliban leadership live in southern Pakistan during the U.S.-led war in Afghanistan. After the Taliban swept back to power in 2021, the Pakistani government initially supported them, and there were even talks that Afghanistan could join a China-Pakistan economic corridor. That seems out of the question now. This is not a government. Lieutenant General Ahmad Sharif Chaudhry, the Pakistani military spokesman, said of the Taliban in a recent interview with The Times. They are warlords. Afghanistan is a space where a non-state militia is sitting. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh dear. That's so fucked up. Okay, let me go to, where's the other one? Nope, that's not it. Is this it? Yeah. Yeah, this is it. Okay. All right. Oh, there's just so much, y'all. There's just so much. Let me check in with my beautiful chat. Maybe related. One has, okay, so cute, Sharon. I thought you said super group, which is also true. A super secret group. Super secret super group. I love you, Teresa. Thank you. You guys lift me up. You lift me up. When you lift me up. Yeah, Jane. So this is basically, I mean, you know, there we go. We're like a podcast, hopefully, but sometimes we're a mess. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I can pull my shit together. That's always a possibility. There's always tomorrow. Pundits were saying maybe Pakistan action could affect the markets. I'm like, what market? Well, I mean, the poppy market? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm here because I saw Neil on the 5/8 saying he was going over to your channel when that show was over. That's right, motherfuckers. That's right. Yeah. I love these people. I love these people. Yeah. Usually people see what I do and then do the exact opposite. Neil. You're funny. Yeah, I guess expelling immigrants hurts the economy everywhere, Josh. Yep, you called it. You called it. You really called it. You really called it. Well, guess what? I got something for you. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. From the radical leftists at the Lancet. Hi, Jim Nalgren. 4 of your friends retired to Portugal. That's fun. That sounds like fun. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, the best one is the cover. I need you to see the cover actually, because that's the best part. Maybe I think I just downloaded that. This is from Signal, from my beautiful friends in Signal who have captured everything, not me. Wait, where is it? Oh, here it is. Oh, shit, man. There it is. Fucking hell. All right, so this is the cover. This is the cover of the Lancet. It just cracks me up so much. Hold on. Let me do this. Oh, my God. This fucking cracks me up. This is the cover of the Lancet. And if you can't see it, hold on. I'll make it bigger. Okay, the Lancet cover is, quote, "The destruction that Kennedy has wrought in 1 year might take generations to repair, and there is little hope for U.S. health and science while he remains at the helm." And that is from, that's from the editorial. Yeah, which I also have a copy of, which we're going to read as much as we can. I'll see how long it is. I'm not sure how long it is. Because I do have other things too. And this one's a little tougher to make large, but we're going to try. Okay, so this is the story. This is from the radical leftist scum at the Lancet. You know, the anarchists at the Lancet. You know, Jane, I actually think we could do that. I think we could actually create it so that only a certain segment can chat. And so, yeah, I think we could control if it ever exploded, which I don't know. I'm not getting any younger, so I'm not really expecting that. Yeah, exactly. I'm saying they're radical leftists. Here, the radical leftist scum of the Lancet. Okay, anyway, sorry. This just made me laugh so much. That would be so cool. It would be cool, but we're fine. I mean, I just am surprised. I'm like, I think I might be shadow banned. I don't know. I just don't believe in shadow ban. I don't think shadow banning actually exists. Okay, I really don't. Can't keep up with chat and house streams. I know there's really no community. I don't feel a community in house stream, but of course I don't hang out there every day either. There's people that hang out there every day. Yeah, I'm going to change my X bio to radical leftist scum. Yes, because that is basically how everybody is who doesn't like this president. The channel deserves... Yeah, I know. Josh, I love you. I just want the information out there. I mean, the links are all in the description, so that's good enough, frankly. Okay, in his first speech as Secretary of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Robert Kennedy Jr., Brainworm Bobby, we're going to refer to him as, laid out a plan to restore trust. The COVID-19 pandemic. You got blocked in Hell Sparks. Oh, a super group. Oh, soup sounds great. The founders. We should do that. I don't know how to do that, but I might try to figure it out. Anyway, I was thinking of doing that for the Discord too. Like you would have like if the Discord ever blew up, we would put our current channel in like a totally private, so that it's like just stays, and then we can open a new channel for like everybody that's coming in. The first 99-cent members. Well, there's people that aren't members too, but anyway, sorry. Okay, the COVID-19 pandemic saw public faith in federal health and science plummet between April 2020 and September 2023. The percentage of polling respondents who trusted coronavirus and vaccine information from the CDC, a great deal or a fair amount, fell from 83% to 63%. And the HHS employees to whom he was speaking were facing devastating mass layoffs and funding cuts. Although Kennedy did not mince words about the likely fate of staff resistant to his ambitions, he promised open and honest engagement with everyone willing to work towards making the USA healthy again. To the Senate committee who confirmed his nomination, Kennedy promised a receptive and collaborative relationship. And to the public from whom he claims his mandate, he promised a new era of unbiased science without hidden conflicts of interest, secrecy, or profiteering, all of which is happening. Radical transparency, gold standard science, ethics, compassion, competency, and pride would restore to HHS the unimpeachable authority that the USA needs and deserves. Politicians are known to break promises, but Kennedy's record 1 year in has been a failure by most measures, especially his own. 10 days after his speech about trust and openness, HHS rescinded a 54-year-old policy of soliciting public comments for new rules and regulations, silencing the voices of many of the stakeholders he pledged to serve. Kennedy has summarily dismissed the advisors and experts, communicated policy changes on paywalled media, fired a whistleblower, and overseen the revisions of guidelines and recommendations contradicting decades of established science, often to the benefit of industries he formerly condemned. Under Kennedy's leadership, the National Institutes of Health shuttered programs studying health effects of air pollution. HHS withheld a report linking alcohol consumption to cancer, and the Food and Drug Administration withdrew warnings of potential harm from consuming products such as raw milk and chlorine dioxide, falsely marketed as treatments for autism. His changes at the CDC have driven 26 states to reject official guidance on vaccine policy. And in December, the CDC awarded, this is the thing that gets me. This is what started all this. That unsolicited $1.6 million grant to conduct a vaccine study in Guinea-Bissau that raised so many ethical concerns, the design would have risked exposing about 7,000 infants unvaccinated to hepatitis B at 6 weeks versus at birth. So they were playing eugenics with the population of infants in Guinea-Bissau. And that study, as far as I can tell, is still continuing, even though the World Health Organization and obviously the Lancet, which is one of the major medical journals in the world, are condemning it. It is like Tuskegee. The design would have risked, and it was a total, what the study was, it came out of Denmark. It was non-competitive, so the 1.6 million was awarded directly to the Danes. There was no competition for the bid for this study. And the study parameters were that they're not human. What the study parameters were going to be 14,000 infants in Guinea-Bissau, give 7,000 infants this is a highly Hep B, high concentration of Hep B infections in Guinea-Bissau, okay? Keep that in mind. Give 7,000 infants at birth, as usual, as been done for decades, the Hep B vaccine, and not give the vaccine to 7,000 additional infants and give it to them at 6 weeks. What that will do is guarantee that of those 7,000 infants who do not receive the vaccine for 6 weeks, because Hep B actually is can stay on surfaces. It's not just direct transmission, okay? And it can lead to chronic illness, I'm sure death for probably more frail infants. So he basically is playing with the lives of 14,000 infants, babies, in Guinea-Bissau, testing a theory that he has, that he's been pushing, and his fucking cohort of assholes. He's been pushing that the Hep B vaccine shouldn't be given at birth. It should be given never or a year or two after the baby is born. There is decades of research. Hep B vaccine is been proven to be safe and proven to save lives. And because of his ego, he is eugenics, trying to kill African children because he thinks, I don't know, is it going to prove his, I don't know what he thinks, or he just wants to kill people. That's actually what I think. I think he thinks this is fun. I think he thinks controlling people's lives is fucking hilarious. I think it's a big fuck you to the world because he was such a loser his entire life. His own family expelled him. But this study is fucking incredible. And I was last night looking, where can I protest locally that would get at this particular, there's no CDC, there's like some kind of, muster station or something, but oh boy, this one gets me right in the heart. This is fucking eugenics. This is Nazi shit. This is Nazi shit. That's what this is. That's all this is one big fucking Nazi play. And I hadn't heard anything about it until we found it, I think a couple days ago, like by mistake. Oh, it came out of one of the fucking hearings. That's right. It came out one of the hearings. I didn't know about that study before. It has been compared to the infamous untreated syphilis study at Tuskegee, where we injected black men with syphilis, didn't tell them, and just, again, from a eugenic standpoint, used people. And this is what we're doing again. Oh boy. HHS under Kennedy has made a habit of throwing good money after bad science. Amid the Dump administration's cut to research funding and personnel, there's been a harmful shift in priorities. Cutting-edge discoveries and clinical investigations on subjects ranging from mRNA vaccines to diabetes and dementia are denied crucial resources, while junk science and fringe beliefs are elevated without justifiable explanation. Under Kennedy's leadership, politicization at the NIH, FDA, and CDC is imperiling the future of U.S. science and innovation and throttling public health enterprise that keeps the country safe today. The mechanisms maintained by the federal government to monitor and report health concerns such as drug overdoses, maternal mortality, and food security have been as beleaguered as the doctors and scientists who rely on them. Thousands of data sets are no longer publicly available, leaving Americans and the world unprepared to respond to future crises. And crises are looming. In November 2025, the first human infection and death from the H5N5 strain of avian flu was recorded in Washington state. Pertussis, which killed 13 people in the USA in 2025, continues to spread across the country, and the measles outbreak that began in January of last year now threatens the elimination status of the USA and Mexico. Despite these developments, Kennedy has continued to spread disinformation, I'll say it, not misinformation, and pushed politicized agendas at the expense of the country's most vulnerable. When called to account for his decisions by Congress, he has been evasive and combative and disgusting. I'm adding a lot, I'm sorry, to the doctors at the Lancet. The destruction that Kennedy has wrought in 1 year might take generations to repair, and there is little hope for U.S. health and science while he remains at the helm. Calls for his resignation now number in the thousands. Congress must exercise its duty of oversight and hold Kennedy accountable for his record, or else accept responsibility for endorsing President Trump's decision to let him run wild on health. And there's the dick now. I'm just a dick. I'm a big old dick. So that's what the radical leftists, who are not radical leftists, they're a bunch of doctors. Okay, there's probably a ton of Republicans in there. But that's just the way it is. I know I shouldn't say that, but I can't help it. Uh-oh, Teresa, what'd you say? Oh, God. Teresa, now what? I can't even see what you said. Did you see where the SCOTUS is looking to prevent people with cannabis cards licenses from owning firearms? No, I didn't see that. Is that a new case? New case. New case. Yeah. Do 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 do. Bow. Bow, 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 bow. The goal is to reduce the population because they don't want to do safety nets. This is what do they call that? Anti-liberalism or something, where you don't believe in helping the most vulnerable. You think the most vulnerable need to get out of the way. This is what that is, because they want to make money. Money, money, money. It's so funny. It's a rich man's world. Oh, whoops. Sorry. I don't know what happened there. Get out of here, duck. Just like your father. I have more. Don't you go anywhere. Don't you think you can go anywhere, you little whippersnappers. You little whippersnappers. Okay, here we go. This is the Washington Post from yesterday. Is this wait, what, Jane? Is this accelerationism too? Okay, I'm going to say my opinion, which is just an opinion because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, and I'm not a political scientist. Although I did take a class in college, but I was pretty high the whole time. But anyway, my point is, it feels accelerationist in terms of there's a clock running out when it comes to the vulnerable underbelly of this regime. And by vulnerable underbelly, I mean the Epstein files, the tariff scheme that is not going to work. Those big things, I think, give the regime a reason to move fast and break things. And I think that if that's what accelerationism is, then I think their accelerationism is hers. But I think there's a desperation because they know legally there's a lot to lose, right? Before the public, right? Sharon Brown well said, before the public knows what is happening. I think this is why I think Russ Vogt was so effective, because he walked in day one with the whole first at least 6 months planned, right? So there was no moss on that rolling stone. It was full speed ahead and just move fast, break things. It was a Zuckerberg moment. That's what I think. Because I think they know that members of their regime, not all of them, but members of their regime are going to be held to account for some pretty bad stuff. Pretty bad. So I feel like they have got to lock it down before this shit gets in. That's why we're going to read about the midterms too. One day I'll fly away, look around for yesterday. I don't know that's the words of that song. All right, DOJ is reviewing if Epstein files with Trump allegations were wrongly withheld because just an accident. Oopsies. These three summaries of interviews the FBI conducted in 2019 with a woman who had accused Trump of sexual assault are missing from the files, it has been reported. It's from yesterday. The Justice Department said Thursday that it is examining whether it wrongly withheld FBI files that contained allegations against President Donald Trump in its release of millions of pages from the investigatory files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. How would that happen? Oh my God, did that happen? Did we do that? Oh my God. 3 summaries of interviews the FBI conducted in 2019 with a woman who had accused Trump of sexually assaulting her are missing from the files, multiple news outlets have reported. The woman had accused Trump of sexually assaulting her decades earlier while she was a minor. No evidence has emerged publicly to corroborate that accusation. Well, that's what they count on. Yep. The existence of the summaries known as 302s in law enforcement parlance was noted in an index that the Justice Department had included in the massive cache of files released over the past 3 months in response to the Epstein Files Transparency Act. The index suggested that law enforcement agents interviewed the woman on 4 occasions, writing up a summary in each instance. Only one of the 4 summaries was included in the release. How'd that happen? The summaries were among the materials prosecutors gave to defense attorneys as part of the discovery process leading up to the trial of Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, who was convicted in 2021 on sex trafficking charges. Independent journalist Roger Sollenberger first reported on the apparent missing files. The woman who accused Trump also said Epstein assaulted her when she was a minor in the 1980s. In an account that was included in the files, the woman said that Epstein introduced her to Trump and that Trump assaulted her. FBI agents frequently fill out 302s in cases that never lead to charges, and the accusations in them are generally considered unproven allegations. Well, that's why you investigate them. Yeah. But you met with this girl 4 times and you did nothing. Chris Ray, calling Chris Ray. Chris Ray, please come to the front. Chris Ray, would you please report to the principal's office? Christopher Ray, calling Christopher Ray. Come to the principal's office. What the hell? Oh, and never mind the Larry Nassar cover-up. Okay, whatever. But you know what? Chris Ray, he's a hero. What? Dump has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing. In fact, he says he's exonerated. Quote, several individuals and news outlets have recently flagged files related to documents produced to Ghislaine Maxwell in discovery of her criminal case that they claim to appear to be missing, the Justice Department said in a statement. As with all documents that have been flagged by the public, the department is currently reviewing the files within that category of the production. You know, the stuff with Trump in it. Should any document be found to have been improperly tagged in the review process and responsive to the act, the department will, of course, publish it. Consistent with the law. My God, we're the lawyers. What do you want? We're the cops and the lawyers. Epstein pled guilty in 2008 to 2 charges of soliciting prostitution. Oh boy. And that alone is a very great tale of bitchdom. My God, Dershowitz brags about what he did for Jeffrey Epstein, getting 34 accusations suppressed and having 2 accusations positioned as the girls both being prostitutes. What? I think a lot of people have a lot to explain. Okay? I think a lot of people do. Okay, he was arrested on federal sex trafficking charges in 2019 and died in federal custody later that year. His death was ruled a suicide. Judges and lawmakers say that over decades, he abused, trafficked, and molested scores of girls, many of whom have come forward in court and in other public forums. Kash Patel. Kash Patel's doing a little house cleaning over at the FBI. Anybody who looked into his handling of the classified documents case, because I think it was Kash Patel who might have made the list of documents to take. I don't know. I could be wrong. 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 I think he's another one who's... he's in the first row. At Nuremberg, he's definitely in the first row. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, Trump had a long-standing... He has said that he knew Epstein socially in Palm Beach, Florida, and that they had a falling out in the mid-2000s. Oh, yeah, they sure did. Trump has maintained that he did not know about Epstein's criminal behavior. The missing summaries have given Democrats an opportunity to reassert their claim that the Justice Department has improperly withheld documents to shield Trump, which is pretty obvious. I don't know. I'm not sure how much you need. Senate Minority Leader Charles Schumer in New York, on Thursday, accused Attorney General Pamela Joe of covering up potential wrongdoing. He and other Senate Democrats plan to review an unredacted version of the files. Wait a minute. Time out. Are you telling me that Chuck Schumer, since they opened the unredacted files to members of Congress, are you telling me that Chuck Schumer has not looked at them? The Senate Democrats have not, him and other Senate Democrats have not looked at the unredacted files that came out a few weeks ago? Are you kidding? What the fuck? I fucking hate Chuck Schumer. I really do. I've always hated him. I think he's he's like the quintessential politician. Glad handing, big donate. He also got money from Jeffrey Epstein, by the way, for his campaigns. You know, and so, I mean, a lot of people did, so I don't know. Again, I don't think this sex trafficking ring was really political in nature. I think it was power. All right. Accused attorney Pamela Joe. Okay, he and other. Okay, well, that's really ridiculous, Chuck. You're fucking shameful. There are only 4 computers to view the files from. Well, I would think Chuck Schumer, as the fucking majority leader, could figure that out. Sorry, Dan. I'm not giving him any grace. Corporate Dems. I mean, they're doing it to themselves. I mean, you know, hello. They're abusing redactions to hide the truth, Schumer said. We're going to reveal this massive cover-up. We'll pull on every thread. Yeah, I have such confidence in you. Jesus Christ. God damn it. Oh, we have breaking news. This is good. 2 transgender Kansans have sued the state over a law that abruptly invalidated their driver's licenses this week. That's good news. We'll read more about that. We're going to follow that Kansas anti-trans legislation, which is also Nazi. I don't know. I think if you tell people immediately on the day that the law is effective, you have to turn in your papers. I don't know. That feels very Nazi to me. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. You know, okay? So stand up, Dems. Stand up. Stand the fuck up. Because people are being erased. Again. Jesus Christ. The fuck is wrong with people? Justice Department officials have said that they did not withhold any information to protect powerful individuals. Well, they can say whatever the fuck they want. What they're doing is completely opposite of that protestation. Trump is mentioned more than 1,000 times throughout the released files, being mentioned in a mass trove of investigatory documents. It doesn't. It doesn't. Congress passed the bipartisan, but that's why you investigate things, bitches. Okay? You investigate things so that you get to the bottom of whether or not their mention in the files is of note. Hello. It's not, I've been through a lot of the files. It's not that hard to figure out who's just being mentioned in a news story and who actually is engaged in a conversation with either Leslie Groff, Epstein's secretary, or Epstein himself, or whoever. Congress passed the Epstein Files Transparency Act in November, and Trump signed it into law, setting a December 19th deadline for the Justice Department to release the files, which, of course, they blew through. And here we are. The department released, okay, we know, 3 million, yep. And officials released 3 million additional pages of the Epstein files, which was expected to be the final release. That's right. That's what Turd Blanche said. The law mandates the release of all files related to Epstein, with exceptions for materials that might compromise a continuing investigation, disclose the identity of a victim, or constitute child sexual abuse material. In a letter accompanying the latest release of the files, Deputy Attorney General Turd Blanche said the department had withheld or redacted about 200,000 pages that it decided were covered by legal privileges, including some related to internal Justice Department debates. The department has also withheld a large number of documents that it said were duplicates of those that were released. Well, duplicates didn't stop them from releasing them in the first 3 million, so it shouldn't stop them in the next. So there. The released documents provide an extensive look at the evidence the department gathered in its effort to prosecute Epstein, a politically connected financier. To vet the millions of pages, officials dispatched hundreds of lawyers from across the Justice Department to spend weeks reviewing the files and redacting any information that might identify victims, which they failed at. The effort required significant time and personnel resources from the department, pulling top prosecutors from Washington, Florida, and New York, and somehow it still didn't stop them from being Nazis. Okay. But in many instances, officials did not redact identifying information about victims and seemingly deleted or withheld files that should have been released. The Justice Department has said it set up an email account for people who spot victim information or deleted information to report it.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
So that department officials can review it and make changes when necessary. It is through this process that officials are reviewing the missing interviews about Dump. And I'm just going to remind us that the only official investigation that Bondi referred to coming out of the Epstein releases was Bill Clinton. Democrats. That's what she said. She actually said it. Let me make sure I'm not going over weird things here. I want to do that. Okay, that is good. Oh, let me find the story on, let's see, that's the economy. That's the economy. This is the trans legislation. Okay, that's elections. DHS. That is in support of, let me talk about this. This is something Meowing Star brought last night. There is a fundraiser happening for the Huron Valley, Lee brought this. Forgive me. Oh my God, I messed up. Lee brought this to us. It's the Huron Valley Democratic Socialists, but they're holding a trans healthcare fundraiser. So if you are in Michigan, you can attend, and I'll put this link in the other things. But let me also say that you can then, if you're not local, which is what I did, you copy this tiny URL and you go over here and you paste it and then you go to it. Yep. And you can make a donation directly to the Corner Health Center. And what they are doing is raising funds to assist trans individuals in Michigan. Let me get the story. I'm sorry. I fucked up here a little bit. Let me see. Where is it? Oh, I don't think I have it. But this, can someone help me out? Because now I forget exactly if they're doing a particular program or if it's more for gender affirming care. Of course, Lee. Lee, was this, I can't recall exactly what the services in particular that would have been provided, whether it was gender affirming care, access, safety, and more general, but it is a fundraiser specifically by the DSA in Michigan to support the Corner Health Center. So I'll find out more about that. The Melbrooks moving to be or not to be? Yes. I am pissed about Kansas. Yeah. So this is the kind of stuff where you can put, I made a small donation last night, and I think these are the kinds of things we want to know about. So I really appreciate Lee bringing this. Anytime people bring forward great work being done in a community that could benefit from more amplification, I think it's awesome. So I'm down. I'm down for it. I'm sorry you don't have the story about I fucked up on what it's doing. I'm so sorry. Let me see if I can. Oh, I guess I can't. Me. All right, I guess I can't do it. But anyway, so there you go. But I really do encourage people to take a look at it. I'll put links and I'll put more background links in the description. So I apologize. I don't know why. I think I must have gotten rid of one of the tabs that I had open. I apologize. But I'll get more context for that. This is interesting. This is from yesterday. I think there's actually more current reporting on the Anthropic situation. Let me see if I can, because I think this was updated 18 hours ago. Okay. So switching gears a little bit, going into AI. Anthropic is an AI company, which we read about, I think yesterday or maybe the day before. Golly, I don't know. It's all kind of messing together. But Anthropic had an odd response to the Pentagon when it came to autonomous drones and using AI in their autonomous drone systems. The CEO of Anthropic said, I don't want to do that. What I'm reading is the fund is to help provide trans health care. Thank you. For parents who've had their care at University of Michigan revoked. Thank you. That is what it was. It was the university piece that I was missing. That's right. No, I remember. It was the University of Michigan piece. I just think anytime we see these, I'm down. I'm down to throw and for whatever it's worth to put it out there. That's why I miss my Blue Sky account, because I have almost 4,000 followers on Blue Sky. I know not all of them are real, but I do have about 4,000. So I have a teeny tiny reach, but bigger than I used to have, and certainly bigger than maybe my YouTube channel. So I love to share that stuff. So I definitely encourage people to share with wild abandon. Thank you both, Lee and Meowing Star, for giving me that. I know, disconnected after the Kansas stuff was really hard to hear. Really fucking hard. Anthropic says Pentagon's final offer is unacceptable. Well, it was nice knowing you. It was, oh, wait, what? Are you not giving me this story? I fucking hate these people. Axios, you're dicks. How about that? Fucking whatever your name is, Jonathan Swan, you're an idiot. Wait, let me find a better source. Fuckers. You fuckers. Wait, what? Oh, whoa, it's getting spicy. Hold on. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. This is the Wall Street Journal 3 hours ago. Altman, now Sam Altman says, hold my robot. Altman says OpenAI is working on the Pentagon deal amid Anthropic standoff. Anthropic has spent week at odds with the Pentagon over the scope of how its Claude AI tools can be used. Well, Sam Altman says, let me at him. Put me in, coach. I'll take your $200 billion. Oh, my God. Oh, he's working on to resolve. Oh, I see. OpenAI Chief Executive Sam Altman waded into the standoff between Anthropic and the Pentagon over the use of AI on the battlefield, telling his staff Thursday evening that the company was working on a deal that might help solve the impasse. How is this going to solve the impasse? Wait, we have Skynet. Hold on. Oh, shit. We have it. Of course we have it. No, we definitely need that for this segment. Hold on. Ay. It's too much tuna. Oh, here we go. There's Skynet. There we go. All right. Don't worry. Skynet's here. Put that down. Never mind. It's okay. Don't worry about it. What are you worried about? Don't be worried. Shit. Altman said in a memo to staff that the company was working with the Defense Department to see if its models could be used in classified settings in a way that kept the same safety guardrails that have brought its rival Anthropic into a stalemate with the government. Wait a minute, what? Altman in a memo said the company was working with the Defense Department to see if models could be used in classified settings in a way that kept the same safety guardrails that have brought its rival into a stalemate. Altman said he hoped OpenAI could find a solution that could work for the rest of the industry. So what? Are you telling me that Anthropic says we're not going to make Claude AI do what you want to do, pig's breath? And so then Sam, who is a competing AI model, right? Sam Altman, OpenAI, competing with Claude, okay? Sam says, hold my beer. I'm going to go talk to Pig's Breath. I'll bring a beer, and then I will talk to him about how we can, what? You're going to demand the same stuff that what's his name is? Amadei. You're gonna demand the same guardrails that Anthropic is, and you expect a different outcome. Something tells me you're not going to accept the same. You're going to push whatever guardrails you think are going to get you the fucking contract. Unless he's doing it on behalf of Anthropic, it doesn't seem to me that he is. So I don't know why this is being painted as some kind of resolution. Hello? No deal has been signed, and talks could fall through, according to a person familiar. OpenAI is pursuing... Okay, here we go. OpenAI is pursuing a deal, quote, that allows our models to be deployed in classified environments and that fits with our principles. Well, Sam Altman, you are not the one to talk about principles, baby. I'm just saying. Oh, dear. We could have a Sam Altman show one day. That'd be a good idea. Altman wrote in a note to staff Thursday evening, viewed by the Wall Street Journal. We would ask for the contract to cover any use except those which are unlawful or unsuited to cloud deployments, such as domestic surveillance and autonomous offensive weapons. So you're telling me, Sam, that you're asking for the same thing that Anthropic is. So something's not right. The math ain't mathin', Sam. I think you want to help de-escalate things. That's what he says. We would like to try to help de-escalate things. Well, I think you're going to give it up. I think you're going to make Pig's Breath dreams come true. Oh, boy. Altman voiced his support for... This is what he does. He's a fucking double speaker. Altman voiced his support for Anthropic's position in principle, even as he acknowledged the government's concerns about a private company having control over significant national security issues. Quote,
we have long believed that AI should not be used for mass surveillance, what the fuck, or autonomous lethal weapons, and that humans should remain in the loop for high-stakes automated decisions. These are our main red lines, he wrote. We believe this dispute isn't about how AI will be used, but about control. We believe that a private U.S. company cannot be more powerful than the democratically elected U.S. government. Oh, my God. Although companies can have lots of input and influence, democracy is messy. It's messy, everybody. Ooh, hee hee, like my background. But we're committed to it. Sure, whatever you say. Democracy, woo.
OpenAI believes it can enforce its red lines practically by adding technical safeguards, like confining models to the cloud rather than so-called edge environments, which would create additional barriers to uses like autonomous weapons. It also hopes to ensure that researchers can obtain security clearances so they can help inform the government, oh dear, about the technology's limitations and risks, the person said. This is going to be really interesting. We would also build technical safeguards and deploy personnel, FDEs, to partner with the government to ensure things are working correctly. Wouldn't you think Anthropic would do the same? And we would offer similar services to other allied nations. Oh, really? Oh, really? Oh, that doesn't seem like it's a problem at all. Altman wrote, if we're successful, perhaps this can be a path that can work for other AI labs too. But fuck you, Anthropic. We're taking your money, girl. Earlier on Thursday evening, Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei announced that the company had rejected the Defense Department's demands that it make technology available for, quote, all lawful uses, insisting that it be able to bar its use for mass domestic surveillance and autonomous weapons. I mean, it's a pretty principled place to be. So, Amodei, I don't know why you're doing it, but I'm okay with it. In a post on X, Emil Michael, the Undersecretary of War for Research and Engineering, on X, for fuck's sake, on a fucking Nazi site, said that mass surveillance is already illegal under the Fourth Amendment. Hello. And the department won't have any big tech company decide American civil liberties. So there. And here we go. News Corp, owner of the Wall Street Journal, has a content licensing partnership with OpenAI. So just disclosing that. And I think I have, do I have him? No. Yes? No. Yes? No. I must have gotten rid of it. I must have gotten rid of it. I had a little thing on Amodei, but you get the point. You get the point. You get the point. Let's see. Let me make sure I move on topic a little bit. I'll come to Jim's thing at the end. What's this? Yeah, I might not read that one today. Oh, let's read this one. All awful. Yeah, how about all awful uses? Define awful. That's the problem. They have different definitions of awful, Josh, than we do. I know. It's shocking, but true. All right. One more reason to worry. One more reason to buy more weed. Just kidding. This is from WAPO. Trump, seeking executive power over elections, is urged to declare emergency. And this came as a result of my beautiful friend. Oh, this is the Anthropic. Oh, no, that was that thing. Okay, so it wasn't a video. This came from my beautiful friend, Gal Suburban, talking about the fact that you're going to see that little Flynn raises his puny little head in this story. Activists, is that what we're calling him now? Activists? Is that what we're calling Patrick Byrne after reading? And little Mikey Flynn Flam? Really? That's what they're activists now? That's generous. That's very generous. Yeah, okay. Activists who say they're in coordination with the White House are circulating a draft executive order that would unlock extraordinary presidential power over voting. I really hope the video clip, I shared, Patrick Byrne was on somebody's show last night. Fuck, I can't remember who it was. But he was going off. I didn't listen to it. I would actually like to listen to some of it. Okay, basically, fucking right-wing operatives who say they're in coordination with the White House are circulating a 17-page draft executive order that claims China interfered in the 2020 election as a basis to declare a national emergency. I feel like I'm having PTSD like float into my body. That would unlock extraordinary presidential power over voting. Remember, Mike Flynn did a whole fucking segment on the Insurrection Act right before they certified the 2020 election. Oh, well. President Jim Stewartson was right about everything. President Donald Trump has repeatedly previewed a plan to mandate voter ID and ban mail ballots in November's midterm elections, and the activists expect their draft will figure into Trump's promised executive order on the issue. The White House declined to elaborate on Trump's plans. Under the Constitution, it's the legislatures and states that really control how a state conducts its elections, and the president doesn't have any power to do that, said Peter Tickton, a Florida lawyer who is advocating for the draft executive order. Tickton attended the New York Military Academy with Trump and was part of his legal team. Oh, of course, it's another lawyer that filed an unsuccessful 2022 lawsuit accusing Democrats of conspiring to damage him with allegations that his 2016 campaign colluded with Russia. He is one suit-happy motherfucker. Can we just say he sues fucking everybody? But here we have a situation where the president is aware that there are foreign interests that are interfering in our election processes. Tickton went on. That causes a national emergency. Wow, WAPO, you're really giving the activists A lot of airtime there, Wapo. Wow. You're making them sound like they're normal human beings. The emergency would empower the president to ban mail ballots and voting machines as the vectors of foreign interference, Tickton argued. The idea of claiming emergency executive powers based on allegations of foreign interference attaches a new significance to the administration's actions to reinvestigate the 2020 election. Trump has never accepted defeat. He did once, while never finding evidence of widespread fraud. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Toenail is leading a review of election security that officials said focuses on foreign influence. And yesterday, I have, actually, I should pull that up. I have, I think Tom shared it in Discord because Discord is amazing. I heard that, what's his name? Harry Littman was talking about the fact that this whistleblower report that has been hidden now for, I think, 9 or 10 months by Tulsi Toenails, that was a complaint from a whistleblower in the DNI's office, I guess, against her. And then also there was an allegation involving Jared Kushner. I learned that yesterday. Okay. So can you imagine that might be why they don't want us to see the whistleblower report, which is unusual, apparently, after the OIG has whatever, I guess the OIG, I don't know if the IG investigated it or not. Yeah. The emergency would, okay, is leading a review of election security that focuses on foreign influence. Coinky-dink? I think not. A 2021 intelligence review concluded that China considered efforts to influence the election, but did not go through with them. Tickton said he's had certain coordination with White House officials, but declined to specify, citing safety concerns. But his input has successfully led to a presidential action before. Tickton represents Tina Peters. That's where I know the Tickton name from. Fuck. Oh my God. It's all the same people taking all the same pills. They throw outrageous parties. They don't pay their bills. Yeah. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, this is funny. Tickton represents Tina Peters, a former Colorado County clerk, and one fucking hell of a fighter, street fighter, as we saw, getting into a prison scrap. Imprisoned on state charges arising from breaking into voting equipment, whom Trump has said he pardoned in December. Well, that's nice, dear. But as the WAPO is saying, the presidential pardon did not free Peters from her 9-year prison term because the president has no power over state crimes, and she was convicted in the state of Colorado. A White House official said the staff is regularly in communication with a variety of outside advocates. Name somebody who want to share their policy ideas with the president, but any speculation about his actions or announcements is just speculation until it's not. I have searched the depths of legal arguments not yet articulated or vetted on this subject and will be presenting irrefutable one in the very near future, Trump said on social media on February 13th. I will be presenting them shortly in the form of an executive order, he added the same day. Dump is pressuring Republicans to pass legislation to require proof of citizenship for voter registration and ID to cast ballots. The measure, called the Save America Act, which will not save America, will doom America, so it really should be the Doom America Act, passed the House but faces obstacles in the Senate, where Republican leaders have rejected Dump's demand to change Chambers' rules to move the legislation forward. The legislation, as we have covered, is really bad. It's worse than we even think. And we can go over that again, but it's definitely bad. Please call your senators. I don't know if Ivan Ranklin is in there. We'll see. President Dump is committed to ensuring that Americans have full confidence in elections, and that includes totally accurate and up-to-date voter rolls free of errors and unlawfully registered non-citizen voters, which does not happen, but who cares? White House spokeswoman Abigail Jackson, who's going to hell, The president has urged Congress to pass the SAVE Act and other legislative proposals that would establish a uniform standard of photo ID for voting, prohibit no excuse mail-in voting, and end the practice of ballot harvesting, which doesn't happen. Trump has said that if the bill fails, he will act unilaterally. What? To impose the changes for the midterms. What? That's like in a few months. I know, it is deja vu, and it's the painful one, right? Yeah, the Slave America Act. Oh my God, what that executive order could look like in the draft circulating among activists had not been previously reported. An early version of the proposed draft obtained by the Washington Post, which I want to read it. I'm sorry I didn't just go to it immediately, cites a 2018 executive order. If you know anything about Gal Squad the last few years, you know that EO 13848 was a very seminal piece in putting some of the puzzle together. Gal led the charge, reporting extensively on it. All the Gal Squad did. Jim and Gal collaborated on the Insurrection Was Plan B Substack, which we should read again. But I just, there's a lot of people that call us like conspiracy theorists and shit like that, which was whatever. Call us whatever you want. I don't give a shit. Yeah, you should think about who you admire so much and the fact that you think you're walking around like a regular journalist, but you act like a fucking troll. But anyway, Trump has said that if the bill fails, an early version of the proposed draft obtained cites a 2018 Executive Order 13848 that declared an emergency to impose sanctions on foreign entities targeting election infrastructure. Joe Biden repeatedly extended that emergency, and in 2024, the Treasury Department used the order to place Iranian and Russian entities under sanctions. Fantastic. There is now clear and compelling evidence from court cases and forensic analysis that these threats have not been mitigated, but instead have intensified. They're doing all the reporting on the fucking memo and not on what is actually true about it. Reads the proposed draft. Okay, we're going to find it. Do we have that? Does anybody have that? Hey, Oren, how are you, darling? We are in an upside down world, Sharon. This is like 2021 all over again. It's really ridiculous. Oh, Oren, you're getting there, babe. Well, it shouldn't, but yeah, I don't know. He did yell at SCOTUS. Okay. Everything is dead. Yay. This constitutes an unusual, extraordinary threat to the national security and foreign policy. That's all bullshit. Last June, the Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley, Pigeon Boy, released FBI records showing an initial tip alleging a Chinese effort to produce fraudulent driver's license for mail ballots. Suspicions of Chinese ballots spurred the hunt for bamboo fibers. That's Mike Lindell. He's going to hell. That Mike Lindell. He's going to hell. Down in hell, his pillows won't sell. No, Lord, down in hell, those pillows won't sell. But Mike Lindell is going to hell. Yes, Mike Lindell is going to hell. And he won't be able to sell those pillows down, 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 down in hell. They won't sell too well. They won't sell too well. Way down in hell with Mike Lindell. There you go. I sang a version of that in front of Jimmy Kimmel's show when he was having Mike Lindell on, but I didn't get invited into the theater despite my dinosaur costume and my incredible singing. So I just want to say I almost got on the Jimmy Kimmel show. I was standing in front of it. Okay, those pillows will burst into ashes. Yeah, Chuck Grassley is the oldest traitor of them all. Yep. He's getting to the Jesse Helms era for me, right, Sharon Brown? You know. The Jesse Helms, when you were like, God, isn't he dead yet? Like, I just can't believe that. And Chuck Grassley is fastly entering that era for me. So, I'm just saying. Okay, last June, Grassley said, Chinese president, bamboo fibers in Arizona ballots during a Republican-led audit. You know, cyber ninjas, remember that? Which reaffirmed Joe Biden's victory in the state, which is why cyber ninjas is not fun anymore. They don't like them because cyber ninjas didn't find less votes for Biden. They found more. Oops. Lindell is a nut. He's a nut. Oh, he's a true believer. No, here's how I know, Max. He spent his own money before getting Russian money or anybody else's money. That motherfucker spent his entire fortune doing this. So he definitely is a true believer, and they used him. And they used him very effectively. I mean, the only loss that Lindell had was Tina Peters. Otherwise, he's sitting pretty. They won. And they have Mike Lindell to thank for part of that because his operation was fucking huge. Fucking huge. And they went all over the country and talked to people and whipped them up into a frenzy. I went to that one thing with Doug Frank. Remember, I got kicked out of it violently? Remember? That's on video. When I went to confront Doug Frank on his election disinformation. And then when I tried to return into the venue from leaving for a moment, I got kicked out because I was a troublemaker. So, yeah. Jesse Helms, he's such a dick. Oh my God, he was like the biggest dick. Yeah, he definitely believes. I'll never forget that night either, man. My phone died. I didn't know how to get home. It was really weird. I didn't plan that well at all, but live and learn. Live and learn. I was scared for me. They were being so bad. Like there was no one. Yeah, the guy grabbed me. The GOP guy. He grabbed me physically and prevented me from entering. No, it was bad. And they all surrounded me. Like I was scared. I actually was scared because no one ended up being like, I'm going to help you. You know what I mean? Like, come on, come this way. Even the people who own the dealership where this thing was being held, I was pleading with the owner of the people in the dealership down below. I was pleading with them to help me. And they just stood there and did nothing. So, yeah, I was scared. It was bullshit. Fucking Republicans, you fucking asshole. That guy was a total creeper. Oh my God. Anyway, we should watch that one day. The affidavit submitted to obtain the search warrant, however, did not allege foreign interference. So when they went to Fulton County, Georgia, with Tulsi toenails to get ballots from the 2020 election, which she is claiming is because of foreign interference, which is how this whole kerfuffle is going to go. But unfortunately, the affidavit that got them the search warrant didn't allege foreign interference. So Gabbard made that up. They're making it up. They think you're going to fall for it because their base has fallen for it for all this time. They're over their skis. And the affidavit that's submitted is some of the old affidavits that have already been adjudicated both with disbarments of people and in courts. So these affidavits that they're using are the old fucking affidavits, y'all. It's the old affidavits. They're not even new affidavits. They have all been debunked. The affidavit submitted to obtain... Okay, her office also examined voting machines used in Puerto Rico, looking for cybersecurity vulnerabilities in coordination with the FBI and the Departments of Justice and Homeland Security. According to a spokesperson for the Office of Director of National Intelligence, that inquiry was first reported by Reuters. The stage is largely being set by the revelations coming out of foreign powers that are involved in influencing the 2020 election, said Jerome Corsi, Oh my God. Who circulated the draft executive order in July. Corsi helped spread the birtherism smear, his claim to fame, about Barack Obama and a conspiracy theory involving slain Democratic staffer Seth Rich, for which he later apologized. Special counsel Robert Mueller investigated Corsi as a possible link between WikiLeaks and Roger Stone during the 2016 campaign, which of course Corsi denied. If there was any provable foreign intrusion, that would be a national security emergency, and the order could be issued under his powers as commander-in-chief, Corsi added. Senator Mark Warner of Virginia, the top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee, said there is no national emergency. And he's right. We've been raising the alarm for weeks about President Trump's attacks on our elections, and now we're seeing reports that outline how they may be planning to do it, Warner said in a statement in response to this article. This is a plot to interfere with the will of voters and undermine both the rule of law and public confidence in our elections. The measures listed in the 2025 draft of the proposed executive order include requiring hand-marked and hand-counted paper ballots. Requiring voters to register anew. What? What new? What? The measures listed require everyone register anew for the midterms with proof of citizenship and restricting mail ballots to limited circumstances. The draft also proposes authorizing the Justice Department, U.S. Citizen and Immigration Services, hey, Mike Flynn, how you doing, and the SSA and the Postal Service to have a role in identifying ineligible voters. They already are, okay? They're already involved. States clear their list. Whatever. Hi, TV2. How are you? Happy Friday, bud. The draft cites emergency authority from laws including the National Emergencies Act of 1976, the Federal Information Security Modernization Act of 2014, and the DPA, the Defense Production Act of 1950. Article 1, Section 4 of the Constitution assigns power to regulate elections to state legislators and Congress with no role for the president. That's right. Yeah. Mail ballots are paper. A presidential emergency on elections has never been tested in court. Trump also signed an executive order last March to require proof of citizenship in voter registration forms and withhold funding from states accepting mail ballots after Election Day. Courts in 5 cases blocked parts of the order, with 3 of them pending appeal and another awaiting a ruling, according to a litigation tractor compiled by the legal website Just Security. The other piece to this is that I don't know if this happened, but there was talk of having the postmark day definition changed so that the postmark wasn't when it was taken to the post office and, stamped by the postal office, but that date would then be, the postmark date would be, I don't know, something after that, like the day they receive it or something like that. So we have to follow up on that to see if that went anywhere, because I know they were talking about doing that. Hold on. My lips are dry. Okay. And this litigation tracker is really good on Just Security. We've looked at this before. It's really, really good. We should definitely see it's bookmarked already. We should definitely come back to that once in a while. We should check our sources once in a while. I don't tend to do that. The conduct of our elections is not for any president to decide, and it must never be manipulated to serve a political agenda, the League of Women Voters, which brought one of the lawsuits against the 2025 order, said in a statement. We will challenge any executive action that suppresses voters, undermines free and fair elections, or violates the constitutional framework that protects our democracy. A Washington Post ABC News Ipsos poll this month found 54% of American adults and 55% of independents oppose Trump's stated desire for the federal government to take over election administration and vote counting in certain states. Oh my God. This is so dumb. Why are people so dumb? Oh, it's effective December 24th. Oh my God. Help me. I voted for the lady who laughed too much. No, I'm just kidding. 23% of adults said they supported it. That's part of that 30% of idiots. And the same proportion said they had no opinion. That's probably part of the group. Oh, it's been effective since. Oh, it's last year, December 24th. If I recall correctly, we don't count or post mail-in ballots or early ballots because Republicans didn't like it that way. Democrats always in the lead. They created the red mirage. Yep. Anyways, so that's a little disturbing. I don't know where the I got to get the memo. I like to read the direct thing, but we'll do that. Let me see what else I have. Oh, this is also a source that I wanted to check in with. I won't go, we don't have to go over certain things, but this is also a source I'll include. But it really is the trans legislation tracker. So it's following anti-trans legislation. And I don't know how I found this last night, or maybe someone shared it, but this seems like a very good website for us to keep track of, just to see what's happening. And what we're talking about when it comes to Kansas is the fact that, again, if you are trans, you have to turn in your driver's license like today, like right now. And not only that, I think you have to turn over all your papers, any papers that identify you or identify a gender, birth certificates that have been changed. Everything needs to be turned in. Like, you will not have a license. Think about that. That is Nazis. That's pure and simple what that is in Kansas. That's Nazis. Wow. I don't know. That's a pretty slippery fucking slope, let me tell you. That's really bullshit. Speaking of bullshit, let's listen to this bullshit artist. My favorite. Wait, where is he? Hold on. I've got him. Nope, I've got him. Hold the fuck on. Oh, here we go. There ain't enough Jameson in the world to stop us from having this skanky little ginger on. That's right. Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. All right, this is from, it's from 2 days ago, but I pulled it because it was an interesting conversation on, is it 10%? Is it 15%? Blah, 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 blah. So you have to drive on an invalid license and turn it. I don't know then what. I think that's why the sense of alarm. Dems China went to the trouble of stealing the presidency, but didn't bother with the other candidates. Yeah, I know. Isn't it kind of crazy? It's all crazy. We've been there before, and it's just, I don't want to go back, frankly. I thought we resolved that. But here we are. Okay, so let's listen to what the Lucky Charms guy had to say about trade.
Particularly on Friday, there is now a new baseline tariff of 10%. Why did we start with 10% when the president appears to want 15%?
So the authority that we're using right now, which is a temporary 150-day authority, that's 5 months, 150 days. And we have a lot of countries out there that for a long time have had 10%. We have some that have higher at 15%. And so our goal with all of this is to have continuity. So we want to have the 10%, and we're looking about how to implement the 15% that the president indicated, because we want to have continuity. We want the countries, we want the companies, we want people to understand that what we were doing before, we're going to reconstruct with alternative tools, because we want to keep going, maintain the policy. We'll just have a change in the legal implementing authority.
Ambassador, you're giving me the impression that this is still under conversation, negotiation perhaps internally, when the president was pretty explicit over the weekend in his own words, I, as the president of the United States of America, will be effective immediately, raising the 10% worldwide tariff on countries, many of which have been ripping the US off for decades, without retribution, to the fully allowed and legally tested 15% level. How can we sort of explain that, which is rather explicit, with the more nuanced tone you're offering this morning?
So we'll put out a supplemental proclamation that the president will sign, going to 15% where appropriate. Remember, before the Supreme Court struck down the tariffs, a lot of these countries had agreed to have tariffs, U.S. tariffs on them of 18%, 19%, 20%. So going up to 15%, for them, at least temporarily, it's better than the deal that they had. And so the president wants to make sure, again, that we have continuity in this process, that folks who acknowledge they had giant trade surpluses with us, they had unfair trading practices affecting their trade, and who agreed to pay the tariff, that they actually are in a position to do it until we can get the more durable and long-lasting measures in place.
Ambassador Gray, when you say when appropriate, is that this week, or are you looking to do this after the 150 days runs out of the 10% level we currently have?
Oh, it'll be in coming days. It's soon, right? I mean, the president put out this direction, to your point, and so that all of that is in development. So that will be soon. Again, the idea is to establish a through line from the policy that that the president has implemented successfully over the past year, and continue it over this 150 days. And as we build up appropriate tariff rates using other investigations and means.
So when you do raise the 122 tariff to 15%. What's your argument going to be to the Europeans? Because this is stacking on top of most favored nation rates. That means that for the Europeans that agreed on a 15%, the highest level they would agree to accept, this new rate for some products will be above 15%. What's going to be the argument to Brussels?
So I've been in constant contact with my counterparts in Brussels, the UK, and elsewhere. And the way to think about this is every country has domestic procedures that they need to go through to come into compliance with the deal. With Brussels, we gave them a good rate on cars. That stays the same. With the UK, we gave them a quota on cars. We gave them a quota of beef to import duty-free. That stays the same. So a lot of these parts stay the same. But just like Brussels hasn't fully implemented its deal, or the UK hasn't fully implemented its deal, we also need a couple months now to have some domestic procedures because the Supreme Court struck down all of this. It's pretty normal when you have a trade deal to implement over time. Most trade deals take years to implement. We're on the fast track, and so we're just going to have,
So that's interesting, because I thought they were all ready to go, and the deals aren't signed. Lee can correct me, but I don't believe the EU deal. In fact, I know the EU deal hasn't been signed because the EU is currently debating it. And the UK, I don't think has just even responded yet, because why respond when Taco can just change his mind on a whim? And then this little asshole, this good little Nazi, runs out to the press and is like, no, you're not seeing what you think you're seeing. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. We'll put out a proclamation, but it takes time. Really? Because I thought you were so on top of it. We've been doing this almost for a year now, Jameson. When are you going to get your shit together? I don't even know how many signed agreements we really have. So now he's telling you it takes years to fully implement a deal? What? You don't even have deals, bitch. So again, you're being boondoggled. I'm not going to go on the rest of it. He says the same thing over and over and over again. Oh, no. I didn't want to do that. I do, however, thank you, Meowing Star, because what I did want to do was go ahead and read this, the Aaron in the Morning, about the Kansas legislation. I'm not confident that we read this. I can't believe I missed it. So I apologize, but this is the piece, because it is more than just, basically what they're doing is forcing you back to your gender assigned at birth and dead naming you. That's what Kansas is doing to people. So you will have you may have a gender expression that doesn't match your ID now. Okay? So this is Nazis. This is Nazism. This is fascism. This is all of it. Let me get rid of Skynet for a minute. Hold on. I hate to make a request. I'm going to move Skynet altogether. Don't you worry. Thank you for that. Yeah, I know it's distracting. Where is he? There it is. Boop. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye. All right, and let me make this a little bigger, and then we can read it together. Funny timing, I know, right? Okay, here we. Where the fuck? I don't know how they do it on those big shows where they're switching their graphics and everything. I think it's so incredible. I'm so impressed. Where's my fucking screen? Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm gonna make it a little bigger. Hold on. God, my fingers don't work. All right, my mouse is always dumb. Okay, this is a very good Substack, Aaron in the Morning. Extraordinarily good, especially around trans issues and other equality. So highly recommend. Obviously, we'll link in the description, so you'll be able to find this piece and then back into her Substack. But I wanted to say this is the down low of what's happening in Kansas as we speak. This is actually from, I think, a couple of days, February 25th. This is her Substack. Today, transgender people across Kansas are reporting receiving letters from the Kansas Division of Vehicles stating that they must surrender their driver's license and their current credentials will be considered invalid upon the law's publication in the Kansas Register on Thursday, yesterday. Should any transgender person be caught driving without a valid license, they could face a Class B misdemeanor carrying up to 6 months in jail and a $1,000 fine. Kansas already requires jails to house inmates according to sex assigned at birth, which is the meowing, it's the V coding. Is that what it is? That happens in prisons. You should check your state Bureau of Prisons, whoever regulates that, to see if they have policies like this where they require inmates to be put in danger by putting them in V coding. Thanks, meowing. It is a horrific practice of putting people in mortal danger. And you should check and see if your state allows it. I learned that the California state does not allow it, but I am sure that it would be something to look a little closer into about what is actually happening on the ground. The letter obtained by Aaron in the Morning marks one of the most significant erosions of transgender civil rights in the United States to date. The letter, which has been reported to Aaron in the Morning by a Kansas-based activist, states that under House Substitute for Senate Bill 244, Kansas-issued driver's license and identification cards must now reflect the credential holder's, quote, sex at birth. It warns that upon the law's publication in the Kansas Register on Thursday, February 26, yesterday, current credentials for affected individuals will no longer be valid. The legislature, the letter notes, did not include a grace period for updating credentials, and anyone operating a vehicle without a valid credential may be subject to additional penalties. Those whose gender marker does not match their sex assigned at birth are directed to surrender their current credential to the Division of Vehicles for reissuance. Here's the letter. Let me see if I can make it any bigger. Oh, here we go. Okay. Let's see. This is February 23rd. Dear Kansas credential holder, House Substitute for Bill 244, enacted by the Kansas legislature, overriding Governor Kelly's veto, requires Kansas-issued driver's license and identification cards to reflect the credential holder's sex at birth and directs the Division of Vehicles to comply with KSA 77207. What does this mean for you? If you've received this notice, our records indicate upon publication of this law in Kansas Register on Thursday, February 26, 2026, your current this is February 23rd, this letter was written. Your current Kansas credential will no longer be valid. Additionally, please note that the legislature did not include a grace period for updating credentials. This means that once the law is officially enacted, your current credential will be invalid immediately, and you may be subject to additional penalties if you're operating a vehicle without a valid credential. This is happening in Kansas, folks. Today. Pursuant to this new law, if the gender sex indication on the face of your current credential does not match your sex assigned at birth, you are directed to surrender your current credential to the Kansas Division of Vehicles. Upon surrendering the credential, you will be issued a new credential reflecting the gender identification consistent with statutory requirements. If you have questions regarding procedures for obtaining a legally compliant credential, please contact blah, blah, blah. Can you appeal? Yes. If you believe you've received this notice in error, you may appeal. Appeal rights are available under KSA's blah, blah, blah. However, please be advised that the filing of an appeal will not preserve the validity of your current credentials and associated driving authority. Wow. Oh my, we apologize for the inconvenience this causes you. They are dead naming people. They're dead naming people. They're erasing people's identity. What the fuck? I don't know, Oren, probably not. I don't know. SB 244, also known as the Bathroom Bounty Bill, contained heavy identification document bans as well. The bill was rushed through the Kansas legislature in January using a gut-and-go procedure that bypassed nearly all public input on its key provisions. Governor Laura Kelly vetoed the bill on February 13th, calling it poorly drafted. What? Yeah. But the legislature overrode her veto days later. In addition to the driver's license provisions, the law bans transgender people from using bathrooms matching their gender identity in public buildings and creates a bathroom bounty hunter system, allowing citizens to sue transgender people they encounter in restrooms for at least $1,000 in damages, including potentially in private restrooms. The bill takes effect immediately upon publication in the Kansas Register, which was yesterday, rather than the standard July 1st effective date, giving transgender Kansans just days between the override and the invalidation of their identity documents. The consequences for noncompliance could escalate quickly. Under Kansas law, driving without a valid license is a Class B misdemeanor punishable by up to 6 months in jail and a $1,000 fine. Though first-time offenders are more likely to face a citation and a fine. A conviction, however, triggers an automatic 90-day license suspension. If a person drives during that suspension, they face a charge of driving on a suspended license, which carries a mandatory minimum of 5 days in jail. Kansas already requires county jails to house inmates by sex assigned at birth. The Kansas letters arrive amid an accelerating nationwide campaign to strip transgender people of accurate identification documents. The Dump administration has barred transgender Americans from obtaining passports that reflect their gender identity, a policy the Supreme Court allowed to take effect in November. The Social Security Administration has similarly stopped permitting gender marker updates. At the state level, Florida, Texas, Indiana, and other states have moved to block gender marker changes on driver's licenses or birth certificates, but Kansas appears to be the first state to go further than simply blocking future changes. It's actively invalidating previously issued documents and demanding their surrender. As a result of this extreme anti-transgender law, the state of Kansas has seen its status deteriorate to a do not travel warning in the EITM trans risk map. We'll take a look at that. Transgender people should exercise extreme caution when traveling through the state, and those already living there should take immediate steps to legally protect themselves in the face of laws that could strip their driving privileges, expose them to criminal penalties, and subject them to $1,000 bounties simply for using a restroom. For most transgender people who do not already live in Kansas, the risk is now too great to travel there at all. I'll include this as well. This is the Anti-Trans National Legal Risk Assessment Map as of February of 2026. Let me see here we go. The situation continues to deteriorate for transgender youth care, and the risk profile for adults has shifted as well, with Kansas now added to the do not travel category. For adults, expanding bathroom bans are driving much of the change. Kansas has escalated due to establishing a bathroom bounty, while Indiana's ID policy now places it among the harshest anti-trans states in the country. One state improves, Montana, where the state court system has repeatedly blocked or enjoined anti-trans laws under the state constitution. For transgender youth, however, the national picture has grown more unstable. Federal policy shifts, institutional capitulations, and ongoing legal battles have created a volatile patchwork, even in states once considered protective, rather than like California. Rather than attempt to track an effectively Rather than attempt to track an effectively real-time capitulation crisis, I have elevated every state previously rated below moderate to at least moderate risk. In the current environment, no state can reasonably be considered low risk for transgender youth. Yeah, I'm pessimistic too. Yeah, I just, that story, I think that hit us. Did that hit us on Monday? I can't remember when we first talked about the Kansas legislation. But it was the day that it was the 3 horrible stories. We learned about the children in Guinea-Bissau being subjected to medical experiments by Dr. Mengele. We had this story of the Kansas legislature. When was the 23rd? I don't even know. Monday or Tuesday? And then there was another. The other story was J.D. Vance taking over the fraud and cutting off reimbursements for states like Minnesota of all their Medicaid funding, right? Because that's not going to hurt. They don't get reimbursed for the expenses already put out. They didn't plan on that cash flow, I'm sure, right? So that California is probably next until they come up with some plan. And then also no new durable medical equipment vendors. I did get it wrong. It's not no new enrollees. It's not no new enrollments of vendors that provide durable medical equipment like oxygen and walkers and hospital beds and, crutches and all that kind of thing that is considered what they call durable medical equipment. So this government is very actively trying to kill everyone. In particular, they are trying to kill and put in grave and mortal danger trans people in this country. And I don't really give a flying motherfucking fuck what you think about trans people, or the fact that you love trans people, but you don't really want them like to indoctrinate your child or anything, which is bullshit. If you are in that camp, then you are acting like a Nazi. Okay? So I'm here to tell you that if trans people are not uplifted to be supported with full rights, and we get our fucking nose out of the business. You're all for parental rights until for some reason you've been told that parents and doctors and children shouldn't be able to make decisions about their bodies. But you're okay with, so you're not consistent. And at the end of the day, if you're a Democrat who believes somehow that the trans issue is like, well, you're not really totally down with the trans issue, then you're a Republican. So stop it. If there is no Democrat Party, if trans people are not included, and by included I mean uplifted, and this is the alarm bells are ringing so long and so loud on how the trans community is being systematically erased and targeted so that violence comes their way. I can't imagine what it must feel right now to be sitting on a Friday with a license that just all of a sudden doesn't work. My license doesn't, if I've changed my birth certificate to match my gender, that's wrong. Just imagine how frightening and how cruel and torturous it is to take away freedom from people. And for the crowd that really loves freedom, I don't know how you reconcile these two things, because it's really none of your fucking business if a child is trans. The schools are not indoctrinating your child. They can't even teach your child math. Okay? So, also, ran a high school. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So, I guess I'm saying this issue, to me, is not getting as much attention as it should. I mean, I don't speak for all of media, but I don't, I feel like our group are the ones that bring this to my attention. I don't hear it necessarily from the outside coming in. So please share this. Please. Can we just fucking, this world is just hard enough, right? It's just hard enough for people. Why do we have to make it harder for anybody? Doesn't it take less energy to smile? Isn't that what they used to say? I'm just saying, like, really, please, I'm begging. Just put aside your own bigotry for a moment and think about the fact that as a human being, that human beings deserve the dignity of their choices. They're not harming anyone. I know that they've taught you to think that their existence harms your child, but those two things don't compute. Okay? There have always been trans people throughout the millennia. Nothing is different except for their access to gender-affirming care, which frankly should never be limited. And I learned that Kaiser and Children's Hospital here in Los Angeles still continue to deny gender-affirming care to minors. So there's work to be done. And I think that's right. Aaron is right that even in states where you had some semblance of support, and I won't say our governor is not a trans supporter, so I'm not trying to paint that, but that's the point Aaron's trying to make, is that in states where traditionally the voting bloc should protect certain rights, that everything is off the table now. So, anyways. Okay, I think that's it for me. 3.5 hours. My God, I'm surprised anybody's still here. And they're Hellenic pretended culture heroes. Oh my Lord in heaven. They're supporting a pedophile. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my Lord, a Lord, a Lordy. Look who's 40. Fresh and fruity, getting tooty. Hey, guess what tonight is? Hey. Oh, thank you for today. Oh, my Lord. Wait, hold on. I do have other things. Hold on. Wait, one more thing. I want to show you the new shirt that I designed for the merch. I want to show you the new shirt I designed for merch. It's funny. Oh, here. Wait. Oh,
Breaking news now.
Okay, we have an opening statement from Billy Clinton, so hold on, let me play that. Let's do that. I'll show you the shirt afterwards. Hold on. Boop.
Coming out of Chappaqua, we just got former President Bill Clinton's statement ahead of his deposition today with the House Oversight Committee. And Ms. Naz Ali Vitale is back with us. What is the former president saying, Ali?
Well, Anna, we know this deposition is underway behind closed doors. And just like yesterday when Hillary Clinton testified, we are now getting a written portion of the opening statement that former President Bill Clinton is expected to deliver, or is delivering right now as we speak behind closed doors. There's a few parts of it that I want to pull out. First, I'll start with what he says about Hillary Clinton, where he says, I have to get personal. You made Hillary come in. She had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. Nothing, Clinton is expected to say. She has no memory of even meeting him. She neither traveled with him nor visited any of his properties. Whether you subpoenaed 10 people or 10,000, including her, was simply not right. Clinton then goes on to talk about what they are going to hear from him and the photos and other visits and relationships that he had with Epstein. Clinton will say, I know what I saw and more importantly, what I didn't see. I know what I did and more importantly, what I didn't do. He says, I saw nothing that ever gave me pause. We're only here because Epstein hid it from everyone so well for so long. And by the time it came to light with his 2008 guilty plea, Clinton says he had long stopped associating with him. He also warns the committee that they are likely to hear him say throughout his testimony, I don't recall. Speaking to that, he's going to say that might be unsatisfying, but I'm not going to say something I'm not sure of. This was all a long time ago, and I'm bound by my oath not to speculate or to guess. This is not merely for my benefit, but because it doesn't help you for me to play detective 24 years later. He's going to finish with a similarly defiant tone from Hillary Clinton yesterday saying, with that, Mr. Chairman, fire away. Again, just giving us a little bit more of a sense, Anna, of what is happening in these private depositions that the Clintons did ask at first to be public, but are now happening behind closed doors in the building behind me. Anna?
Ali Vitale, thanks so much.
So that's interesting because I think, here's the thing. Jimmy Comer is not an intellectual or oratory match for Bill Clinton. If there's one thing Bill Clinton can do, is he can fucking talk. So you know what? I don't believe Bill Clinton didn't have sex with anyone. I believe he probably did. For some reason, he's saying, go ahead, prove it, you know? Like for some reason, that's what he's saying. So I don't know. You have to decide on your own. But more importantly, no, not more importantly, I created this shirt and it's the spaced out trivia with Uranus on it. I have a shirt that on the thing, $22.40. The spaced out trivia with that's Uranus on it. I think that's a great shirt. I don't know. I would definitely order that. I will definitely put the link of the store because it's cute. And then I have this. Wait, hold on. I have these. It's so dumb. These are all things I want to order. I made resist flip-flops. They're $17. Sorry, they're a little pricey. But resist flip-flops. Wait, what else did I do? Hold on. Let's see. I think those were the newest ones. Oh, wait, did I make something else? Hold on. Did I? Oh, this is kind of cute. Okay, this is a hoodie. I think this might be new, but I don't know if I did it new or not. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to be doing an ad. This is the Democracy Dino zip hoodie. So it has resist on the back. And then it's got a little, wait, what does it have on the front? Oh, it has a little resist on the front too. Anyway. Oh, wait, there was one more. Wait, where is it? There was one thing that I did that was pretty funny. Where is it? God damn it. I thought it was a jacket. Oh, maybe it's this. Oh, okay. Yeah. I also made, yeah, that's what it was. Okay. I made the trivia thing in a hoodie, but it's on the back of the hoodie. And then on the front, there's a tiny little media literacy. We definitely need a get off ramp shirt. Yeah. There's a 6-planet syzygy, including Uranus. My anus? Coming up tomorrow. Meow probably knows more. Yes, Meowing and Tom are our space cadets. They're the official lounge space cadets. How do you like that title? I just made it up. Bill Clinton is a Rhodes Scholar. Comer is a road crawler. Oh my God, Neil, you just wrote a song. Bill Clinton is a Rhodes Scholar. Jimmy Comer is a road crawler. I need an established Lolo's hat 1960. Well, it's 64 with the nose art. What nose art? What's the nose art, Tom? Oh, you mean the whatchamacallit? I have 2 hats with the classic on it. I feel so stupid doing this. But I've ordered myself a bunch of merch because I love it. But anyway, I do have a hat, a baseball, it's a trucker hat, right? But it has the established Hollywood 1964. That's when I was born. And it has Lolo's Lounge on it. And then I think it just also comes in a different color. Oh yeah, it comes in red and white too, which, you know, whatever. Anyway, so that's that's for $15.95. Anyways, I'm sorry. Thank you for coming to my commercial, my TikTok shop. We need the Cooterville get off ramp of Uranus into Tasmania through the Gwai. We need to do that. I'll figure it out. You know what? I'm going to take all our shibboleth. I'm going to create one long meme of all of our shibboleth. I'll probably miss some, but you guys will help me. Okay. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Shibboleth, right? Sorry, I got that wrong. Carla, I got to see the final design of that shirt. Hell yeah. Angry beaver. We need hundreds of beavers. Yep, that's good art too. That's good art. We do have the special Max flower. Oh, you know what? Oh wait, you guys got to see this. Hold on. Let me just go to this because actually this is kind of fun. So if I go to my homepage, I created categories. Okay. So I created categories. There's the Uranus coffee mug. There's our Uranus coffee mug. And it's priced, get this, I priced it at $17.76 because that's the lowest I could go, but I had to add 22 cents to make it $17.76 because it was like $17.50 as the minimum price I could charge. So I made it $17.76, but you guys will get that. I love that there's all these little like hidden Mickeys in here. Anyway, we have the best damn friends in the whole damn town shirt that was inspired by Max in honor of lounger Max Flower. So you can buy that. Maxie's going to get a shirt soon, courtesy of the station, the channel. And then, wait, what else? Oh, I think that's it. Oh, but there's a resistance journal for $16.21. This is all the shit that I want. Because nothing says good coffee like a Uranus mug. Hello. Drink coffee out of Uranus. Who invented that? Who invented that? Lawnmower sugar shirt. Fuck yeah. Oh, I'll post the website link, yeah. Well, actually, I guess we should just do this one. Oh my God, that just cracks me up. Okay, let me post the link. Oh my God, that just cracks me up. All right, that's the shop. Coffee enema. Are you drinking coffee out of Uranus? I don't know who invented that word, but I love you. I'm building an entire media empire around Uranus. They both circle Uranus. Mr. Spock, where have you been? Josh, I think you came up with lawnmower sugar. Yeah, okay, good. When we do the lawnmower sugar shirt, I'm going to make sure you're honored by that. And if you don't know what lawnmower sugar is or anything that we're talking about, then you have to come to trivia, which starts tonight at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, everything inside and outside of that after the 5-8 and our beautiful friends at the 5-8. Don't forget, I think there's a rad pod today in the afternoon. Yeah, don't look up lawnmower sugar. And nap and more rest sounds like a good idea. Yep, I like those ideas. I'm going to do that myself. So I will see you tonight, my beautiful friends. And yeah, you can have all the credit for that. No problem. I will see you tonight, hopefully, if you're able to join us for trivia. I will try to make you laugh as much as possible and forget about your troubles. Oh, Jeff Curry is the Uranus guy. Oh, okay. I still haven't looked at him. So I will see you tonight. Please come back. Have a good time. Rest today. Don't let all the shit get you down, because we got to stay strong and we got to fight for each other. And that's what we got to do. All right. So I love you guys. Take care. Have a good Friday. Bye.